heart of gold, but ready to fight. Standing tall, doing what's right. Shining truth like a firelight. Daddy's wisdom running deep taught me promises I gotta keep. Breaking chains, leaving pain behind. Calling out the crooked kind. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again. Ain't no fear when I'm around. Justice stands on solid ground. One last chance to make it right, or face the reckoning tonight. In the dark where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again. In the dark, where shadows creep, truth rings out, it cuts so deep. Ain't no price to make me sell. Standing strong, I know too well. Oh, the truth cuts through the lies. No more secrets in disguise. Second chances, they wear thin. Spawn trooper rides again.
Warning, the following video contains strong language, which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you for your attention. It would be a good idea to actually unmute my fucking mic, but there you go. And hello, my pretty.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, good. I'm glad you were able to do all your bits and bobs and all that good stuff. Right, ladies and gentlemen, as you are fully aware, I have my pretty here, and so it's going to be, and let's put it, let me just get this out of the way. First of all, hi everybody, welcome to the stream. And obviously, Eric, Robert, Paul, who have we got? Squid, hi to SMN. Who else we got? We have got Sweetfly, hello my darling. We got David Green, who should be sitting in the back of the classroom today. We got Ammo Girl, hi my darling. We got Blue, Amarellis, hi, how you? We got Eric, hi, good to see you. And we've got many, Barbara as well, if she's still here. Hi, Barbara, how you doing? Right, okay. And just so you are fully aware, before we even start this off tonight, it's going to be a very interesting one because it's a follow up from a post that I did a few days ago. Excuse me a second. Dr. Pepper. Yeah. Anyway, so before we crack on, what I want to do, obviously, I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page and everyone understands what's going on. So a few days ago, obviously we all know what's going on. What?
I'm sorry, I knocked something off the table.
Well, don't do that. You don't.
Well,
You're
at
not
least I
supposed.
won't licking the screen again.
Well, yes, that's true. That's true. You haven't done that for a while.
I
So
know.
that
See, I'm getting better.
yes, yes, it's you're getting better, but at the same time, it's getting scary because you're not. Anyway, right. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to very quickly read out um, the post I did the other day for people who've got difficulties reading or anything else. Now, with a little bit. There was a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of satire and humor. That's what I always do this. And what I did, I read it, I wrote it out, and then I put it into a AI program to write it out a little bit more professional for me. Ooh, cough it up. Anyway, official statement of factual observations with conviction, satire, and a side of popcorn. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks, Wookiees, peasants, and biblical life forms of all alignments charts. Welcome to yet another thrilling episode of The Curious Case of Lynette's Identity Crisis, now featuring bankruptcy. Go shit. Anyway, but so shall we read it out now?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, before we get before we get too deep into this alphabet soup of surnames, let's state the obvious. We're not speculating, we're documenting. This isn't drama, this is data, and boy does the data raise some eyebrows. Looking out. Commander Spock would be really, really impressed with this. Let's roll the name reel, shall we? In 2013, we had Lynette Michelle Kariados, as seen on her driving license. By 2017 to 2020, she was rocking Lynette Michelle Griffey. Now we're looking at Lynette Michelle Preston sprinkle the cameos from Lynette to Clara Wilson, Lacey Bennett, and the ever exclusive Michelle Cook. Interesting. I mean, if names were NFTs, she'd be a billionaire. Now let's address the bankruptcy file in question. Why are certain aliases missing in action on official court documents, especially ones used in the legal reported time frame? If she used Griffey while living in Northport from 2015 to 2020, why isn't it listed? Did we miss the memo? Think about it.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Or is this case a selective disclosure like, oops, forgot that one and that one too? Remember, 8 years from this month means all the way back to 2017. We're not talking about anything else. We're just giving you a little bit. We're paving the road for you so you can get an idea. So yeah, I think someone made a boo-boo. And how long have they been divorced? That's Lynette Preston and John Cook. Okay, just saying. And what about the flea market business? Is it legit? A side hustle? A ghost operation? Is it under her name? Her ex-husband's name? The family turtle's name? Is it either a masterclass in stealth in entrepreneurship or a minor oversight in the size of a cruise ship? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, meanwhile, this Chapter 7 bankruptcy twist is being waved around like a get out of jail free card. But newsflash, bankruptcy doesn't erase digital footprints, paper trails, or public records. If anything, it's like someone turned the floodlights on. And let's not ignore the anti-what the hell cinematic universe where live streams double as soap operas and lawsuits are flung like confetti at a toddler's birthday party, all while credibility evaporates after then good judgment in the group chat. So here's the deal. If it's not a court filing, it's probably fiction. If it sounds like a conspiracy but it isn't backed up by documents, it belongs on the daytime TV. And if someone is changing names faster than the Broadway understudy, we're going to notice. Final thought. Research is free. Google is your friend. Court documents are the gospel. The rest, just background noise. This has been your basically anyway. Yeah. So and then I put some screenshots in there. Now with the screenshots, I wrote this. As you've noticed in the attached screenshots that you're going to see today on this live stream, by the way. All right, the dates clearly overlap and not in a fun Marvel multiverse kind of way. What's more intriguing or mildly suspicious, depending on your mood, is that none of the names listed in her bankruptcy filing actually match up with the ones she was actually using during the time period. Let's not forget her name Kariados was allegedly last used in 2013, yet somehow, excuse me, it made a magical comeback on legal paperwork and also a GoFundMe. Has allegedly last used in while the names she did use between 2015 and 2020 are nowhere to be found. Curious, right? Honestly, all you have to do is follow the breadcrumbs. They're not even hidden, just sitting there like forgotten pizza rolls in an oven. Anywho, thought I'd give you the inquisitive little internet sleuths some homework for the day. Have fun connecting the dots and maybe grab some popcorn while you're at it. Advisory notice, and this is also for the stream today. All the information contained within this post and live stream tonight is publicly available through open sources on the internet. No private, restricted, or confidential data has been used or disclosed. If you can use Google, you can find it. Oh yeah. So, my pretty.
Yes, my darling.
What would you? Good evening, first of all, my sweetness. So, tell me, my darling, what have you got to say tonight? Let's have a look at your legal documents. Let's go.
Boy, it sure has been something, hasn't it?
Oh yes, yes. It's yeah.
Yeah, it has been something. Anybody that's been in the Facebook group has seen the paperwork that's been posted, and we got a copy of her filings for her bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
We did notice some very odd things in the bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she said that she did not have any kind of part-time business or any such a thing. And of course, you brought up the rescue. I don't know how that classifies, but it classifies as something. My understanding that the flea market is under the rescue. That supposedly all profits that she receives from the flea market goes back into the rescue.
Question:
Uh-huh.
If that little stand store, whatever they've got there, comes under the the Turtle Sanctuary Rescue, the 501c3, fucking whatever you want to call it, they can't do that because they can. I mean, if there's donations, there's one thing as donations, but if you're selling something, then aren't you supposed to have tax records or pay taxes on anything? Because technically, a charity, right, when it receives donations, obviously has to report those donations, correct?
Yes. Every donation, even if it's 50 cents, has to be reported when you're dealing with a charity.
Right.
Everything. And they do have to have, if they charge sales tax, I mean, they have to have accounting for all of that. And if I'm not mistaken, it's every 6 months, but don't hold me to that every 6 months. But it may be once a year. She has to give an accounting for all the money she's received and all the money that she's paid out. And that's public record.
Right. So here comes my next question. Her 501c3, didn't that run out last year?
She renewed it again in September.
Okay. So if she renewed it in September, where are the turtles?
I assume that they're still on the property. She just hasn't showed them.
So how can it be a sanctuary? And why is it that we haven't seen any type of videos or pictures or anything else? I mean, after tonight's stream, there's a possibility that we will, because obviously, we do have people, our fans, who sit outside and support us, they probably might pass this on to the individuals, and then they will go, oh shit, yeah, and then they will take videos and pictures of. But we know that we already know that little bit chain of events. But I find it very interesting that until September, okay, if it ran out last year and then in September they renewed it, that means anything from when it ran out until they renewed it. Have they reported that to the IRS?
I doubt it, but they have until April of next year to report it. Anything that's happened after April of this year.
Okay,
They
so
have this April to next April to report whatever needs to be reported.
okay,
But she does have to, in accounting, everything's got to match. So if she takes in, let's say, $1,000 into her through the sales at the flea market, if she takes in $1,000, she has to list that $1,000. Now she has to account for every single penny.
okay,
She has to account for anything that she spends for the turtles, and if there's any money left over, it better still be in that bank account, and there better be a separate bank account set up just for the rescue that you can account for all of your, your ins and your outs. It's not a simple thing. It's a big thing, and she has to keep records. She hasn't been keeping records. If somebody donates to you, that's just like if you go to, we have a place over here called Goodwill. It's a thrift store. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
go to Goodwill and you take 10 bags of clothes. Now, there's no way of knowing how much those 10 bags of clothes is worth. Not really. But Goodwill will give you a receipt, and a lot of times they'll pay you so much per pound. Some Goodwill, it just depends on the store.
hmm
Some Goodwills just give you a blank receipt and you write in the amount of what you value it at. But
okay.
they have to have a value for the stuff that you donate, because they have to account for that. Even though it's clothes and stuff like that,
Uh,
they have to account for each item that comes in and is donated.
okay. Well, let me just stop you there for a second. First of all, I'd like to say hello to Missy Lady and Arizona and everyone else. Here's
Oh,
my
Lucy.
question. Here's my question though. If she restarted her 501c3 in September, um, all the money that's and the fence and all the money towards everything that they've received, um, isn't she supposed to report that? Because she's receiving money from someone, obviously the Crampons, who donated money for the Christmas Harley thing that they've still got on their stream. If you actually look closely, you'll still see it as as a link to donate. But the question I've got is that, don't you find it very interesting that she started a 501c3, a charity, in September, and in June, or okay, let's say July, beginning of July, she decided to go file for bankruptcy?
It does lead to a lot of questions, especially since openly they've admitted to why they filed the bankruptcy was just to stop the court proceedings.
Well, we know
And
that.
yeah, no, I mean, but they openly admitted it. And so you can't, that is that's using the court. You're
Hmm.
using the court. You're not filing bankruptcy like so many people have to because of things that's happened in their circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, that's what bankruptcy is there for. It's so that you don't have to, lay there and waller in your debts, as the old saying goes.
But the thing is, I mean, obviously, I don't want to repeat what's already been said by, what the hales and other people. But going by what's already been said, I mean, Jeremy Hells is one of the debtors that she owes money to.
Yep.
And also the vehicle itself is a hire purchase. So I doubt very much they've actually paid that vehicle off. And the fact that there's a lot of discrepancies. And here's one thing that someone actually mentioned in chat tonight is that no building permits have been done, have been requested or put in for.
No, the building permit is out of date. There is no building permit on record right now. Now, I honestly, again, we're talking Levy County, okay?
Yeah,
But my
yeah.
understanding is she has reached the limit of extensions that she could get on the building permit and the extension she could get for building. So technically, since she doesn't have an active building permit, she's not really supposed to be on the property living there because she's not building a home. That's how the homestead that I've been able to look up and find works.
Right.
You can live on your property, so many months or whatever, while you build your permanent dwelling. So
Right.
there's rules for that, and it keeps people from just living in a camper on a piece of property. You want them to put a home down. You want them to put roots down. That's what you're
Mhm.
wanting to happen.
So,
So,
so let me ask you about any updates. What are there? Have there been any updates on um, uh, to over on the other side of the pond? Back to you in the American studio.
really, really no. Lisa did send in her amended complaint. I think Tug and Megan went over that, and I think Squid went over that. So
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
sent in their amending. She sent in her amended complaint. Um, as one of the exhibits, she actually sent Randy's entire amended complaint. It was just ridiculous. But we're still waiting on the judge to come back on that one.
I just to interject here very quickly. I find the crampons Lisa Lee's freaking attempt to do a Bruce Matskin because when you look at it, first of all, there's a lot of AI hints in that, right? There's also a lot of copying and pasting, and the fact that you know she contradicts herself in that. I do hope that Randy Shockett does put denies the new one. I hope he does because the thing is, at the end of the day, we all know, and I've said this on Squids as well. Bless her cotton socks. Is that Lisa Lee needs to, when she gets cross-examined, if this goes to court and then in front of a jury and she's sitting there and she's being cross-examined, I hope that she has learned how to respond as a lawyer because you know for a fact she did not write that document or the first one,
Oh heck no!
right?
Ain't no
And
way.
and you know that like Mr. Magoo or "Hey, you guys," and freaking Keel Nose have their hands in this. And as far as I'm concerned, right, I was skeptical because obviously John Cook going into different channels and that, and I saw that comment that he apparently made under JM Cook 988 name, and I was a bit skeptical because obviously there are people out there who will go out their way just to, cause problems. But the fact that it was actually the way it was said, I do believe I'm skeptical. I'm sort of still 60-40,
Right.
but I do believe that was John Cook who said that. So that means now
Are you
that
talking about the one where he thanked Bruce for coming up
yes,
with the idea?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I personally believe that, like, when it comes to throwing each other under the bus, ladies and gentlemen, all right, if you ever want to learn that game, all you have to do is contact Lynette, Preston, John Cook, and Bruce Matskin.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean,
Oh,
it's
they are champions.
right. So basically, obviously, I've been keeping an eye on. Obviously, I was with Squid the other day, and we went through some of the documents and we discussed it as well. So there's a lot that we don't need to go through. However,
Wait a minute,
what
there's
about?
one more thing. Hang on one second. I just want to let everybody know
Yeah,
there
go for it.
is one more thing on our calendar, guys. July 10th, Randy has to have his response into Lisa's motion um to basically to dismiss everything and her amended complaint, or I say complaint, but her amended motion is what it is. I just get amended complaint. I hear it so much. But July 10th is our next deadline date.
I
So
know.
that's what we're waiting on.
Right. Let me ask you a question about the discovery. As anything, I mean, like the fact that they have been trying to avoid handing over any type of discovery. What's going to happen about that?
Honestly, I don't know. That's going to depend completely on the judge. It's in his wheelhouse. He has to decide what he wants to do about it.
Mm,
It's been a blatant disregard to the court. See, this is the deal, folks. If you ever get something in court for discovery, if you don't have anything, okay, let's say you don't have a thing, then you pick up your little pen, you pick up your little piece of paper, you sit down and you say, look, everything you've asked me for, I'm sorry, I don't have it. I have looked and I do not have it. You answer the court. No answer has come in from them. From this, they're like, well, I've answered it before. It doesn't matter if you answered it before. If the judge says answer it by this date, you know what? You send in the same thing you sent in before if that's what you need to do. Or you send in a new answer and reference that original answer, but you answer it. And she can file bankruptcy, but she couldn't answer that part.
But here comes my question. I think I asked this on Squid. Squid can remind me if I did ask this or not. All right, all this time, why did they wait until now to put this bankruptcy in? Why didn't they do it from day one? Why didn't Bruce Matskin, if he is that fucking intelligent and that clever, why didn't they put the bankruptcy in within months of all this kicking off? Why didn't they do it then?
Because nobody thought about that. Paint Chips is the one that brought it up on that live that he was on.
When he was
and right. Lips and them, he brought up why didn't they do that?
Yeah,
he said because it'll put a stay on the whole case and everything will just stop. But I don't understand why they don't just do that and it stops. That's where it came from.
I mean, like he's. I mean,
but maybe if they had an attorney from Florida, I don't know. I mean, I'm just stab in the dark here. Maybe if you had an attorney from the state in which the lawsuit was in,
yeah,
you may have had somebody that knew the answer to those questions. I mean, I'm just using common sense, and I realize everybody.
Hang on a minute, madam. We are not going to swear live on this stream.
Yeah, exactly. Don't use that kind of language up in here.
Do not lose that language in this environment, in this chambers, madam. Otherwise, you'll be contempt of court, and I will send you to the jail. Yes. No. Right. Any general stuff? Anything general? Do you want to finish off what you were saying, and then?
Heck no, I didn't forgot. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, in general, okay, we all know what's going on here. Basically, what they're trying to do, they're trying to stretch this out so much that Jeremy spends money, a lot of money, and he's already spent a lot of money. And personally, I mean, if he put a GoFundMe up for legal fees and stuff like that, trust me, I would support it 100%. Because at the end of the day, right, we know we have. If you look at the bigger picture, if you step out of that box and you look at this bigger picture, you've got a group of people who've done nothing but try to drag him through the dirt, and they are every chance they get, they're trying to throw a spanner in the works. But every time they throw that spanner in the works, it just bounces off that engine because. Right. Every time they try something, they get caught out in their own BS. Because here's the point. Maybe people don't think about this, but my brain goes at 200 miles an hour. Ever since they've been going on about this bankruptcy and the court cases and motions and everything else, have you noticed they stopped accusing him for driving past the property?
I hadn't seen no videos of that lately neither.
No, have you not noticed the change in tactics? That the fact that now they're dealing with all the legal stuff, and there's no more accusations of a public road going past the property, and the same thing with Travis as well. Bless his cotton socks with Tube Town and everything else. All right, the fact that none of that is happening anymore. Anyone noticed that, or am I just the only one?
No, I'm with you. I've noticed it. I've noticed that we haven't been seeing daily Jeremy drive by Lynette's property and see it plastered everywhere.
Yeah. Right. I mean, because I think they are like opportunists, right? They will try to, oh yeah, let's use this for a while, bang, and then once that runs out, oh yeah, let's do this for a while. And now that the fact that they are on a receiving end of what they've been treating George and Jeremy with for over a year, now that they're on the receiving end of the legal ramifications. Now they're concentrating 100% on everything illegal and even freaking that up, and everything else has gone out the window. Don't you find that interesting? Okay.
I do, most definitely. But, I mean, no harm meant, but damn, they got 3 lawyers sitting up there. I would hope somebody be telling somebody something.
Yeah, it's okay, Squid, no problem. And all the newcomers, thank you very much for popping in. I am Spawn Trooper, and my co-host today is My Pretty.
And you know, Joey's in the house too.
Joey's here?
Yes. Joey is in the house.
Well, hi, Joey. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the community. One of the moderators will point you to. They've got torches and all that. They will take you to your seat. Just chill out, relax, and just enjoy yourself. And welcome to the community, dude. Nice.
But no, you're right. I mean, I'm hoping that somebody's telling them something, because the worst thing that you can do if you're in this situation is just talk. And God love them, they don't know how to shut up. I wouldn't talk about nothing. I wouldn't say a word.
I mean, like anyone with I nearly said it. I nearly said it then. Oh, I nearly said it then.
Don't make me get that soap out the bathroom.
Don't you threaten you a good time. Anyway. But I mean, you'd think, right, if I had a lawsuit like what's going on here, right? I mean, like, you know, Madam Mayor and Brett, they're countersuing, and I think a couple of other people are countersuing, which fucking good on them, right? They have every right to do so. They got dragged through the dirt for no reason, just for the fact of like guilty by association, and the fact that these individuals actually helped a Navy veteran, right, Lloyd. The fact that they helped this guy, and they're getting punished for that, and then when you actually then fight back, when they fight back, they're the bad guys, really. But anyway, what I find quite interesting is the fact that if I had a lawsuit, I mean, this is probably everyone. If I had a lawsuit, excuse me, if I had a lawsuit, right, slapped on me like this, you would not be hearing me talk about it. You would not hear me discuss it with friends, even with people I know. You wouldn't see anything mentioned about the court case. It would be all silence. It would be radio silence. It would be nothing. You wouldn't hear nothing. I'd be talking about games, videos, and stuff like that, but I would not be talking about the case at all. Even if people were talking to me and asking me questions about it, I'd say, sorry, at this present time, I cannot comment. Done.
Right, because you don't know that one little slip up could be what ruins your whole case.
Yeah,
and so you don't discuss it. I mean, anybody watch Karen Reed, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Karen Reed did that. She did that interview.
Yeah,
she should have kept her damn mouth shut and not said a word, but she didn't. And she did that interview, and I think that interview hurt her a little bit in the first case. I think it hurt her. Mm-hmm. So I know you're trying to get your story out there. I know you're trying to tell what happened. I know you're trying, you're trying to get your point of view across.
Yeah.
But, don't shoot yourself in the foot. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Hi, Nimrod. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to put into words. I mean, like, in my head, everything sounds so perfect. It sounds like I'm representing at the United Nations, but the fact that they've messed up so bad, okay, and I'm now going to show you how bad they've messed up. You ready for this?
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready, Freddie.
Right. Here is the actual file. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, all information and documents you see here are public available. And they are also on the interwebs, so you can find them. Now, on here, for example, right, Lynette Preston put down her full name, right, Lynette Michelle Lacey Alexis Preston. She then puts down what in the last 8 years, and this is where we get into the realm of what the fuck, right? Is the fact that like she uses Kariados. Now, the last time she used Kariados was in 2019 and in 2013. 2013, on her driving license, when she had it renewed or updated, it actually gave her name of Lynette Michelle Kariados. Now, before that, Michelle Lacey Alexis Cook. Now, when was the last time that anyone saw any documents or anything else where she actually had her name as Cook? Anyone?
I haven't seen it because she wasn't a cook very long. Once they found out that John was going to lose money by marrying her because he was drawing off of his late wife, they decided to get the divorce because it would make his money go back up.
Right. And here's the thing. She even said it herself, right? I mean, John Cook even said it himself on the deposition, is that they were together 10 years, married for 5, and divorced for 5. So think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think. Start thinking. Step out of the box, okay, and just think. All right, just think. Now, going on to the next one, okay. In 2002, right, I know this is not 8 years, but in 2002, she used the name Lynette Griffey. This is one of her married names, right? Now, her maiden name is Barber, Barber. Okay, but here in a newspaper clipping from 2002, when she married someone who committed unalived someone and got what 55 years or 55 years sentence or something like that.
I think it was less than that.
No, it says here. It says here.
55
It says here
years?
55.
55 year, okay, 55 year sentence. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was 45.
And basically, now here's one question I do want to ask. She married him while he was in jail, or she married him before he went into jail. But in this clip in here, right, is that they, she married him while he was in jail. Now, apparently, she also lost her job. Wait, Lynette Preston actually had a fucking job, and she paid taxes? Really?
Yeah, that's right.
That's. I think I need to sit down on that one. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, moving on. Here, okay, and I've by the way, just for transparency, I have redacted the face of the child, and I've done that for a reason. All right, here she uses the name Lynette Preston. Okay, so why would you lose? Why Lynette Preston? Yeah. Now, moving on to the next one. Let me ask you a question. Why are you registered in Otter Creek in 2013 with the name Lynette Michelle Lacey Preston?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Someone asked me, and then if we look at this, now just so you know, I'm not the only one who was doing research on this at the time, and we shared information. We collaborated and shared information. We discussed this. Now at the top, and you're going to see it. And at the top, right, you got 2013. You got 1996 to 2014. That's where she lived in Dexter. Then Rotunda, then Northport. She lived in Northport from 2015 to 2022. Now look at the surnames. That's one of her married names. That's one of her married names. Married name, married name. So here's a question I would like to ask. Does anyone notice something missing from these names? Now, 2000 from 1996 to 2014 overlaps the fourth address of 2013. Overlaps the second address of 2013 to 2018. Overlaps 2015 to 2020. So there's a lot of overlapping, okay, of addresses and locations where she's lived in certain years. However, look at the names at the top. Does anyone see Lynette Preston Cook or Lynette Cook or Michelle Cook or any type of Cook?
Or Kariados.
Or Kariados, yes, exactly. Okay, so there's no names up there, right? So let's move on to the next one, shall we? All right, this is the last one in Port Charlotte. Okay, so just so you know, there's 4 names. Yeah. Now, as you can see here, okay, 4 names, 4 different colors, right? And then obviously the fourth address that you just seen, okay, it's 2013. In 2002, what name did she use?
2002, she used Bennett.
Right.
Bennett.
Okay. So if you look at all these addresses here, Northport, Rotunda, Dexter, right? But let's fucking move on. Explain that to me.
That's whatever pair of shoes she got up that morning and she put on. That's who she became.
explain that to me, please? Okay, so basically here she's now Michelle Barber Kariados. All right. So we've got them and we've got this. But in 2013, on her driving license, it says Lynette Michelle Kariados.
There it is.
Okay. So why is it there? But why is it not there? Why is Cook not there?
She is
Yes.
an anomaly.
Right. Yeah. Cuddles. Momo Cuddles. Debbie, let me explain something to you. You have to remember that these names and this information is on public record. Now, it's very easy for someone to turn around and say, and look, I get it. If Jeremy has been told that's what they called her, she was known up there as Ruby, whatever, that's fine. However, that is only speculation. The only way you can confirm and put it down in writing is if you find something or you have proof that she's actually put that name as Ruby Preston or Ruby Michelle Lynette, whatever, on paper, and she's actually used that on a document. And if you can 100% verify that that name was used on a document or in the process of buying something or renting something, then excuse me a second. Then you can then 100% state, yes, that name was used. Just because someone has said, yeah, Ruby was a name that she used, that's just hearsay. That's just from somewhat a third party. Now, I get it. Jeremy and George were told that, and other people have heard it. However, unless it's been 100% verified and it's actually on paper where she has actually signed something, Ruby Preston or something like that, then it's only speculation, and it should only be treated as such.
Correct.
Because the thing is, if I say to my pretty, her name is Jack Jones. Someone tells me, my pretty said her name is Jack Jones. Then unless I see it physically on a document, on a governmental document or excuse me, any type of document, I have to take it by third value speculation. Does that make sense?
You
I
have
hope
to
that.
do that, especially in all of this. You have
Yeah.
to, because I mean, just cause she might have told somebody that was her name and she went by that name with that person or whatever, doesn't mean that she's physically used that name legally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a nickname that somebody gave her, you know.
And the thing is, let's be realistic here, right? She has used Lacey, Alexi, Michelle. You know, I mean, all these names. Okay, she like we've actually seen aliases. I've seen a list of aliases which I've got of 38 names. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she's been using 6 different surnames, and she's been married and divorced 7 times. I'm not going to discuss the person in about the situation in Germany because I was asked not to, so therefore I'm going to respect that. But we move on. We digress. Now, here we got Michelle Barber Kariados. Barber is her maiden name. Kariados is one of her married names. Okay. My question is this: she's done a GoFundMe in that name. Okay, so that means, right, to have the funds sent to her. I don't know how GoFundMe or Gift and Go goes. I don't know if you have to show a driving license or physical proof of your name and details. I don't know if you do or not, because I've never done a Gift and Go or a GoFundMe. But at the end of the day, unless she's got a driving license, which I then now point back to, she has a driving license, okay, with that name. So now you need to step out of the box and think and go with me on this one very slowly. If she has a driving license with the name Lynette Michelle Alexi blah 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 Kariados, does that also mean she's got a driving license with the name Bennett on it, Griffey on it, and stuff like that. So that means she has, even if it's out of date, she still has physical proof. This is just speculation. This is not an allegation. This is just thinking outside the box. Does that mean there's a possibility that she's got documentation with different names on it?
Oh, I'd be willing to bet the house on that.
Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you understand what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying to say?
every time she changes her name legally, you guarantee she goes and gets a new driver's license or some form of identification with that name on it. Absolutely, and she can't get it. She can't get it with like Ruby. She can't get it with
Cynthia,
Ruby.
I don't know. I haven't dug that deep, and to be honest with you, I didn't have to dig that deep. But you'd have to ask someone who knows her a little bit better. But one thing people need to do on this situation is they need to step out of the box and they need to think. Like I'm thinking like something I used to do at work. Okay, because at the end of the day, if a person had and has had a driving license with a name that we see here, right, you now need to take in consideration if she's had that one. Does that mean she's gone? Oh, I've lost my driving license. I need a new one, but I've divorced, and this is my new surname. She's got the documentation, marriage certificate, divorce certificate, blah blah blah. She goes into the DMV, bang. Now her name is Bennett. Now her name is Griffey. Now her name is Preston. Now her name is Cook. Now her name is this. That's what I'm talking about, and this is speculation. This is not accusation. Let me underline that. That this is not an allegation. This is a speculation. So maybe it'd be worth for whoever's investigating this case, maybe they should get off their asses and actually look a little bit deeper, because this information can then give you a pattern of behavior. But we digress. So here we got Kariados. Check this out. Excuse me. 2019. Michelle Sr. Interesting. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, remember she only said she had one other group, and that was the Otter Creek Friends and Family. Yep. That's the only other group besides her standing on the truth that she has. That's it.
Yep.
And again, this just proves that there were more groups. She had different groups set up for different things. She was involved in a lot of grandparents alienation and groups such as that.
Yep. And one thing, like my pretty, we have spoken in detail. We always speak before we do these live streams. Right. And if there was anything that you or I had questions about and we thought that it didn't belong into the live stream, we wouldn't mention it.
Correct.
Now, the thing that gets me, if you have someone who changes their name and changes their legal documentation, like driving licenses or stuff like that, that should be freaking, you should be hearing the fucking purge alarm. You should be hearing you should be richly hearing alarm bells going off across the board, because someone who changes their name either are in the witness protection program, are hiding something, or they're committing, and this is only allegedly and speculation, are committing crimes. So
you're running from something.
Yeah. And now that this bankruptcy's come in, and what she's done, right? Why doesn't it say here Lynette, Michelle, Barbara, Kariados? Why does it say the same three names there, and there? Do you see where I'm going with this? Someone made a freaking boo-boo. There's a reason why I highlighted all these. Because if you look at the surnames, when was the last time you saw anything that she's written with that surname? That surname there has been used multiple times since 2013, plus on a driver's license. And that is one that she uses now. Now, here comes the question. Why has she wrote in Michelle Lacey Alexis, when that's not the truth. Because if you go back to here, whoops, there you go. All right, she's wrote it there in 2013. But in 2013, her driving license said Kariados. You see where I'm going with this?
Right.
Yeah?
I wonder when she divorced from Kariados. Is that after
And
she
here we go,
divorced him
Michelle
and went back to
Barber.
Preston?
Yeah, here you go, Michelle Barber Kariados. Why doesn't it say Michelle Lacey Alexis Barber Kariados? Or Lynette, for that matter? And then we got this, and then comes the nutcracker. This one here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a post that was put up on the anti-what the hells. And if you read at the top, it says, last month, Preston's bankruptcy attorney admitted to allowing a disbarred attorney in California. This is only speculation. I'm only reading what's being posted, so don't have a go at me. All right, California access his CMECF account, electronic filing account for federal court, to improperly file bankruptcy cases. This would certainly appear to constitute the proper facilitation of the practice of law without a license. When the court discovered this improperty, whatever, it is issued an order to show cause why sanctions should not be issued to the attorney. In his response in order to show cause, Preston's attorney admitted committing the offence in question on July the 8th, 2028. A hearing will be held to assess sanctions. The sanctions currently being contemplated by the court include, but are not limited to, a suspension of Preston's attorney electronic filing privileges. Preston's bankruptcy is filed in the United States Bankruptcy Court in Northern District of Florida, Gainesville Division, and filing must be, excuse me, be submitted in Tallahassee, Florida. Preston's attorney, business address, blah, blah, blah. Miami, Florida, Gainesville is about 330 miles from Miami. Tallahassee is 480 miles from Miami, and Otter Creek is 270 miles from Miami. If Preston's attorney doesn't lose his electronic rights, this would potentially present a real issue at his ability to efficiently pursue the matter on Preston's behalf. Of course, the more important component is to below the reputation of an attorney who has admitted facilitating their disbarred counterparty ability to practice law without a license. Oh, fucking snap.
Yeah. And that was just filed. This does not have to do with Preston's case, guys.
No.
This is just her attorney in another case.
Yep.
And this was just filed June 6th of 2025. And this is the $6,000. Say that number again, 6,000 plus bankruptcy attorney. If it was me, I would be saying, you mean to tell me that this man is charging this poor disabled elderly woman that has a disabled child, that is indigent, that doesn't even have a house built. They're going to charge her $6,000 to discharge a bankruptcy. But yeah, this is him. He seems like a peach, boy, I tell you.
I mean, this whole situation. I mean, like, look, I don't live over there. I don't deal with all the ins and outs over there. But like, she's definitely hasn't put the truth on that document with names, let alone anything else. The fact that she's actually put this bankruptcy in now, where she could have put it in last year. The fact that she actually did it because she was advised to by the one lawyer who has the intelligence of a freaking slug on a pond that's just being bombarded with napalm. I mean, like, and then you've got these idiots on the anti-what-the-hells, and you've got all these people who support these people on the anti-what-the-hells, and they believe every freaking word they say. And look, at the end of the day, regardless if people do right or wrong, they are still human beings. They still have the right to defend themselves. But the fact that you've got two individuals who have done nothing but lie through their teeth and then play the victim, and then suddenly all that goes quiet. Suddenly, Jeremy Hales is no longer a stalker because, now they have to deal with legal paperwork. So therefore, anyone driving past that property is no longer a stalker, blah, 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 blah. This is getting stupid. This has gone beyond opinions. This has gone beyond of pointing out, discrepancies in their storyline. It's gone to a point now where people are deliberately and unfilteredly trying to destroy someone else's life. And the anti-what the hells have been trying to do that to Jeremy and George from day one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. That is exactly what's trying to happen. That's it.
Now, the discrepancies in the names and everything else should basically, excuse me, basically give you like a map, a road map of what's going on, because like there's a lot of unanswered questions. There is a lot, like the thing, like say for example, here in the UK, I asked my QC about this, and he turned around and he said there are ways of legally changing your name here in the UK, right? That's Wales, England, and I think Scotland, but Scotland is a different. I don't know about Ireland, but in Wales and in England, you can change your name by default, right? And you have to pay a certain amount. You go in and say, I want to change my name to fucking Tweedledum and Tweedledee or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And basically you pay a certain amount, and it's a legal document, and then it's notarized by it can be notarized by any type of lawyer, and then it gets deed poll, right? No, it's called D-poll, D-E-E poll, right? Or depot, yeah, if you want to be correctly, and basically it's then signed by the lawyer, but it has to be signed by a judge as well, or magistrate, or something like that. And then you go back the next day, and you'll then get documents. You'll get the certificate of change of name. You get a certificate. This is now legally your name. Blah 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 blah. So technically, I can go and change my name to Spawn Trooper legally, and you would have to address me as that. All right. So in the States, now I don't know what the policy is or what the route is for you to legally change your name in the States. But over here in the UK, I don't know about Italy, France, Germany also. 1 second, I just got to receive a message. Now, I don't know that. So if anyone in chat knows, speak now or forever hold your peace. Because, it'd be very interesting to do a little bit of digging on that. A show cause order came through from the bankruptcy judge. There was important information not included with this petition. Bella, I wouldn't be surprised that like every single document they have put in so far, there have been discrepancies. Now, if you were switched on, I personally think the first motion that Lisa Lee put in was deliberately done wrong, deliberately. Right, and if I was Randy Socket right now, and if I was Jeremy right now, I would go, no, it's declined. We're not accepting the new motion. No, you put the motion in, done. That's your problem. You can argue that in court, because they are deliberately trying to drag this out, and it's not fair on anybody. It's not fair on Jeremy Hales. It's not fair on anybody, right, in regards of who've tried to do good. The trespass 6 or 5, whatever you want to call it, right? They got thrown under the bus because they helped someone. The thumbnail case, what? You want to take freedom of speech and freedom of expression away? Satire and humor, right? However, when you use labels to try to fucking get your way, and you try to lie your way through life, I mean, Lynette, if you're listening to this, let me ask you a question. You're 63 years old, okay? You've adopted a child that is going to be 6 this year, right? So by the time that child is 10 or 12, sorry, by the time that child is 12, you're going to be in your 70s. Do you seriously think you're going to be able and capable of looking after that child? Point one. Point two, right? You are neglecting, you're taking away that child from any social interaction with other children, from being in a school, play school, or kindergarten, or whatever. And the thing is, why are you using different names to get to sort of dig your way out of problems that you've caused? There is breadcrumbs all the way from 1996 all the way to present day. If people actually took their heads out of their own asses and actually paid more attention to what was going on and actually looked at everything, all right, and looked at the history and everything else, you would see a pattern. You can't use labels for that. You can't say, oh, no, I'm going through a bad time, blah, all that shit. No, you can't. You can't do that. The fact that you had a driving license with the name Kariados and now you're going around saying, oh, my middle name's Michelle. Are you get addressed by Michelle? Well, how about I call you Numbnut? Why don't you add Numbnut to your name? And one thing, this is my personal opinion, and I'm calling it right now. The Crampons, Jabba the Hoot, Mr. Magoo, Mr. Skeletor, hello you guys, yeah, and everyone else involved in the anti-what the hell's ecosystem. You have no clue what type of shredder you're walking into. Because when you go into, it doesn't matter if people don't agree with what Jeremy says or not, right? He has kept everyone up to date on what's going on, right? The fact that you've got people like John trying to pick a fight with Travis in a freaking shop, all right, for one, and then playing loud music, trying to get in copyrighted. Yeah, right, okay, whatever, all right, and then behaving the way you've behaved over the last year. Do you seriously think that people are going to, the moment they put your name, and this is probably one of the reasons why these names there's so many of these names, is because when people do background checks or credit checks or any type of checks, suddenly they come up, oh, my name is Michelle Alexi Luther Vandross fucking whatever. Yeah. You'll come up with a clean record. That's what I think. That's why I think all these names exist. It's because when people do checks, if it comes up clean, yeah. But that's just speculation. That's just allegedly. Because at the end of the day, I don't know why a human being would use that many variations of a name. And then this bankruptcy show, you just messed that one up. And then you've got other people who jump on the bandwagon and they think they're freaking, I don't think that I'm perfect or that I know everything. But one thing I do very well is see discrepancies. And by the way, my pretty's gone to the bathroom, but I think she's basically gone down to the store down the road 10 miles away to go to the bathroom. So we'll carry on talking. While we're waiting for my pretty to come back, let's get the opinion from people in chat. So what's your overall? Let's have some feedback from you guys in chat. What do you think? Here are many things I have seen in my life. One is the denial of old age, and another is there are many parents that should never procreate. Well, I mean, I could always put the picture up, the Durex message where it says, this could have prevented this post, but yeah. The fact that, oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Oh, thank God for that. Did you wash your hands?
Yes, I did.
Okay. No. Well, I don't. You have to be ladylike. So I was just talking about these names and that. What do you think?
Oh, please. I think we should just take bets and spin the wheel and play roulette and see who wins. It's been never ending, and we find more and more and more the more that we look into things. I get why she did it. I know why she uses so many names. I understand. She's trying to change her life because the life that she's living at the moment is not the life she wants. So she thinks that by changing her name, she becomes somebody different. She gets a fresh start.
Yeah.
But all life hits that moment when you just don't know whether you can keep going or you have to turn around. And once you get through it, you're so much stronger. You're such the better person. God love her. She just never goes through it. She gets to that point in her lives and she stops.
Hang on, one second. Moosey Lady, what's the XSS? Anyway, carry on while Moosey Lady responds to that.
I think she's talking about like disabled, like, getting help.
Oh, you mean the Department of wait a minute.
Health and social services, something like that.
Let me Google it. 1 second. Department of Health and Social Security. The former UK government ministry existed from 68 to 88 before it split into Department of Health and Department of Social Security. All right. Okay. Yeah.
And we call it Department of Social Services or Children and Family Services. It's the same thing. It's where you get your insurance, you get food stamps, you get help, from the government to supplement if you don't make enough money.
Actual fact, that was a good. Excuse me a second. You just hit a nail. You just said something very interesting. If she's putting in for bankruptcy, considering that she's on receipt of Social Security, hello.
Still doesn't matter.
Oh, right.
You can file bankruptcy even though you receive Social Security. Social Security is a benefit that you have as taxpayers or as working people have paid into this fund, and now you're reaping the benefits of what you've paid in.
Right.
The only thing that I think that would harm her filing bankruptcy is she just better be 100% on the up and up with everything, because people are going to be looking into it. Unfortunately for her, that's just the way it's going to happen. People are going to look into it because they're inquisitive.
Yeah.
They want to understand. They want to explore it. They want to find out information. That's just human nature. That's human nature. And so she better be on the up and up with everything. Don't take no shortcuts. Don't let that bite you in the butt in the end.
What's happening with Nina? Bad weekend and health getting worse. Sometimes about Monday and hopefully get answers. Hey, Nina, you look after yourself, please, sweetheart. All right. Your health and your well-being come first. Excuse me a sec.
See, right. Nimrod, that's why we don't let you come out every so often.
Did everything come out? Okay. Hey, easy.
We don't let her come out of her box every so often.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you know, you know what, like in the old days when I was still serving, I used to turn around to juniors and I said, look, stay in your bubble and don't come out your bubble. And one of them used to turn around and go, oh, look, I'm in my bubble. And I went, oh, fucking hell. But what gets me is this. The last time I saw something like this was, it actually did happen in Germany. And it was a messy divorce. It was a messy split up. And basically, by the time one individual left Germany and then went back to the UK, by the time they finished everything and he moved back into camp, and because obviously they have to give their pad back, she had changed her name 3 times and used her maiden name and then used her stepfather's surname, and then basically she had all benefits removed from her because of that. Because she was trying to, get 3 different things at the same time. She was trying to get the money from him. She was trying to get the dependency payouts from the APC, which is the Army Personnel Center, and she was trying to get Social Security in the UK, and that all fucking fell apart. So yeah,
and unfortunately, it falls through the cracks sometimes. I mean, let's face facts. There's no way they can keep track of everybody.
Yeah.
They just can't. And so it does fall through the cracks, and people do get benefits under 2 different names. I had a sister-in-law that was getting benefits in one state and getting benefits in another state.
Yeah.
And then they went after my brother to pay back what she had gotten in benefits from the state she won't living in because they were separating. But that's a whole nother story. But the point is, it does fall through the cracks sometimes,
Yeah.
and sometimes these people are able to get by with it. It just depends.
And Cynthia, just to answer your question, first of all, yes, they would need excuse me a second. Yes, they would need a passport. They would also need a dependence ID card. Depending if you have like what we had over in Germany, we had the NAFI, so you'd get a ration card, you'd have your BFG permit, driving permit, so and then you get your fuel coupons and stuff like that. But the American version, I'm not fairly sure, but I do know that you have to have your passport and your dependence ID card, because obviously, if you're married to a service personnel who is posted or stationed in another country, yeah, you of course you're going to need that. Otherwise you wouldn't be allowed off base, and you definitely wouldn't be allowed over there. So, but the Germany side of it, my pretty is fully aware of this. We're not going to discuss that. We're not going to get into that because we've been requested not to. So I'm not going to discuss that, and I'm not even going to speculate. So there you go.
Yeah, they talk about how bad everybody is over here, but we know a lot of things that we don't necessarily share because even if they were shared, if they were shared, the people that it may impact have nothing to do with this situation. And so
Exactly.
we have to weigh that against whether or not this knowledge is beneficial or is this knowledge just going to hurt the innocent.
Yeah. Keep talking. I just need to go and pray to the porcelain god. I'll be right back.
Okay. Good Lord help us. So, in okay, chat, how many think? Give me a one if you think this bankruptcy is going to give Lynette what she thinks it is, as far as getting her out of having to pay all these fees that are getting ready to be levied against her, and give a two if you don't think it's going to work. Tell me what you think. I want to know what y'all think about it. After looking over the bankruptcy, knowing that she's filing bankruptcy, not to get out of debt, but because she knows she's being sued. I agree, guys. I don't think it's going to work like she thinks it is. I don't think it's going to work at all. I think it's going to potentially backfire against her. I think it's going to hurt her big time. And I hate to see anybody get into the mess that she's getting ready to get into, but it's coming. And I hate it for her.
I am back, and I've just
I
been accosted by my wife, but that's okay.
We were just discussing whether or not I asked chat to put a one in if they thought it was going to work, or a two if they thought not, whether or not this bankruptcy is going to work out the way Lynette thinks it's going to, and everybody, we're all in like mind that it's not going to work. There's no way.
No, I mean, if you want my personal opinion, and this is from me personally, I think putting this bankruptcy thing in, is way too little, way too late, and it's going to cause more problems for them than it is going to cause problems for Jeremy or for George. I mean, I think this was the most stupidest move that could have been that she could have done. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I would have just sat there, kept my mouth shut, got myself some advice, and I would have just taken step by step. But the thing is, when you've got three idiots, well, actual fact, let's and here's another thing. Anyone seen Tori lately?
Yeah, she was on there last night.
Oh wow, okay. And like, here's the thing. There's definitely trouble in paradise with all these people, right? And the fact that you've got all these idiots sitting on one platform talking crap, and people actually believe it. Now, yes, they may have experience legally. One's retired and then not, and fucking whatever, fucking clown. And then you got another one. He could roll around. He needs to do the rest of the 2 years in federal prison. I think he needs to go and see his friend again. Um, I've never seen this level of crap ever, and I think like someone needs to contact Hollywood and see if they can make a TV series out of this or documentary or some shit like that. Anyway,
Hey, look, the last
there's
time that
no
Bruce,
way this is going to benefit them in a good
last
way.
last time Bruce was on the panel, and Lips was up there, and he was up there talking, and I want to say it was Monday, but it might not have been Monday, so don't hold me to that, guys. But when Bruce was telling him about the situation, what this filing was for, what that filing was for, you know, when Bubbles is the person making the most sense on the panel, we got some serious issues, people.
Yeah, yeah,
We got some
yeah.
serious problems.
I
When he's
mean,
the smartest person on the panel, we got issues.
yeah. I mean, the fact that when you sit there, when you actually sit there and you're going, I wait, like when you go, no, why do I agree with him?
I know
Why?
exactly right. I mean, I was agreeing with Bubbles, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, they're in more trouble than I thought.
I mean, I watched Jeremy's stream the other night when they were talking about this, and I don't want to repeat what he said because that's just fucking stupid. But I like the fact that the calmness in his voice and the way, I mean, like that poor bloke sat there and basically went, you seriously think this bankruptcy thing is going to slow this down? I mean, in a way, he has sort of like, I mean, I know for a fact at some point he tried to reach out with the olive branch, but but when you push someone so far, he's definitely not gonna fucking back down now, no matter what. And thank you, my beauty. And the fact that he said it so calmly, these people need to be fucking concerned of what's coming to them. The fact he is so calm and so assertive in the way of going, this is not going to do anything to the case. It may slow it down. It may sort of like slow it down a bit. But here's the thing. It may slow the case down, but it won't slow down the sanctions for Bruce Matskin. It won't slow down any investigations or anything that's going on.
And two, think about it like this too. I'm waiting for this to happen. Because it's going to happen. Mark my words, it's going to happen. It might not happen now that I'm saying it, but it's going to happen. They're going to be fussing about how long Lynette and John and their family has been in this court case. It's been going on all this time. Well, you're what's making it drag on. You're the one making it drag on. You're the one putting a stay onto it. You're making it hold up. It's not got anything to do with what Jeremy's doing. This is completely strategic things that are happening on your side. Bruce Bubbles was excited that he was able to say he had held it up for 5 months already.
Paul just hit a net. Oh God, I forgot all about that one. Paul Amos just made a really good bloody point. The Ohio case,
right?
That still needs to happen
because he's not suing her. He is going after her for contempt of court.
Yeah.
For the protection order. So that's a totally different avenue.
Yeah, I totally forgot. And here's another thing that we people seem to be forgetting and neglecting. What about all the freaking money? Where's all the money gone?
Last I heard, Felisa has it. She has it all. And she decides where it goes and how it's spent. But the fact that the money was donated for Lynette means that Lynette has access to that money. And so Lynette does need to report that to somebody that she has access to these funds. It's just like as if you have a trust fund. You have a trust fund. You may not have access to that trust fund, but you still have to list it, even if you have a trustee that is in charge of that money.
And the thing is, the crampons injected themselves into this case. And they were the ones. And I'm just speculating here. This is not an accusation or alleged. I'm speculating. They contacted them and then got involved in this because they were already butthurt because of Jeremy anyway, and they were already character assassinating him, slandering him, defamation. So this is going to turn out to be a nightmare for them because, like, it can be easily proven that they involved themselves and not the other way around. And the fact that then suddenly Bruce ended up with them, and then you got that little circle, and then they turned around and they went, "Oh, we're the PR team, legal team, da da da," and then suddenly that disappeared. But we're not letting you forget about that one, PR team, fucking pricks.
Oh, exactly. They speak for her. They are her voice. I can't stress that enough. That was said. That they speak for her. They are her voice.
Yeah, I mean the whole hypocrisy, what they've been saying and everything. It's just repetitive. All we're doing is repeating everything that we said months ago.
Yes, that's
and,
true.
And the biggest issue is when you repeat yourself, people go on and get bored of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I understand that, and that's why I sort of like taking a step back and I'm just watching it from a distance because, like, when you watch it from a distance, oh boy, you see more than you think. So
and you can't turn away. God knows you can't stop watching it because it's like watching a train get ready to hit a car. You're going to stand there and watch it happen because you have to. And this is a total train wreck. You can't turn away from it. You just keep seeing it happen, and you keep wondering to yourself, "What? I don't understand why these people are thinking this way. Why do they think this is going to happen?"
Yeah,
What they're doing is they get these ideas and they go out and find a lawyer that will do what their idea is.
Yeah, I mean, Snowflower. Sorry, I do, Snowflower, my darling. I do apologize for missing your comment. She put a comment in earlier on. She says she has 10 days to file a bunch of forms, or it will be dismissed on July 21st, 2025. Thank you for that. I just think that, like, if Lynette is listening to this, here's a word of advice, Lynette. You've got the crampons hold money for you that was donated to you by people. You have every legal right to have that money. Use that money to get the materials you need for the band minimum and get yourself a lawyer. And if you don't want John Cook to be part of that lawyer umbrella, then remove him from your property and he can then fight for his own side. Because right now you are living together and you're throwing him under the bus on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is, you need to stop listening to incompetent and unprofessional lawyer, and also two lawyers who no longer are allowed to practice law and who are possessed. Well, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've noticed a lot of comments in chats lately, and one comment really stood out to me. This lady said, "I didn't donate to Lynette's attorney so that she could get a bankruptcy attorney. I donated so that she got a representation in the federal court." And that's a big thing because when this bankruptcy is said and done, you know what's going to happen? Lynette's going to need a lawyer for the federal court.
Yep.
So now you're going to have to pony up more money for another attorney. How many attorneys does one person need? She's been through Silverman, Sean, Stark, Bruce. Now she's got Jerome. That's 5. Jerome is the bankruptcy attorney.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Ramashan or something like that. I couldn't say the last name right, so I just picked the first name. But anyway, that's 5 different attorneys. Plus, she has a disbarred attorney and a retired attorney that is there to assist in whatever way they are able to assist. So there's 7 attorneys that you've had working on you. 7 attorneys.
Melody just hit the nail on the head. I've been saying this from day one, Melody. Melody, this whole, And all this could have been avoided if two people would have just listened to a piece of paper that said cease and desist, all, you know. And at the end of the day, if you ignore that and you just carry on and you start doing stupid stuff, stupid things bring stupid prices. And look what's happened. She thought that she could make money from a famous YouTuber. We've seen the proof. We've seen the comments. You know, these are not made up. These are not fabricated. She thought, oh, if I move down there, all right, and I can make money from, you know, living next door to a famous YouTuber. And no disrespect to Jeremy, and I humbly say this with the utmost respect. Jeremy has 740,000 subscribers. Okay, I've got fuck knows what. But anyway, that's beside the point. The fact that if it was Mr. Beast or, you know, Jake Paul or Logan Paul or fucking Speed, or if it was someone who had 20 million or 40 million or 100 million or whatever subscribers, then I would be going, yeah, okay. But the fact that you just fucking saw a money mule or an attempt, you thought you saw a money sign hanging over Mr. Hale's head, you thought that you could get an easy fucking ride. But you didn't even give him a chance to, you didn't even offer him a fucking reach around, let alone give him a chance to breathe. You didn't even own the property and you got him to fucking move a tree that was illegal. But then again, I mean, you know, your comments and your actions and everything else prove that he did it unbeknown to him, that you didn't even own that property then.
Right.
You know, dates speak louder than, you know. So, but anyway, oh fucking hell, I've got the Satan sign. Oh, I need one more to get out of that hell. Anyway, anyway, so is there anything we want to add to this topic, my pretty? Because to be
No,
perfect,
yeah, I'm good with you on this. This is, I mean, you know, it's just telling you things to, you know, we're just telling people things that we notice, little things that we pick up here or there that may make it easier to understand some things.
Yeah, and also like I did have there was a couple of comments on the post I made. Some people were you know talking about the different names, different places. Look, I can't comment on that because I don't know, and I'm not going to waste my time doing research on these individuals anymore, because all the research that needs to be done has been done. But I just think people are not explaining it correctly or not putting it out there. Tonight you saw a breadcrumb route, and all you need to do now is just research it. This is why people are making mistakes, because they're not researching their information. They just like act out, then think about it and go, oh shit, yeah. It's, and I don't want anyone contacting anyone. I don't want anyone interfering in people's private lives, but anything that's public that you can Google, that's different. You have every right to Google and do research, but this whole thing is I mean, and it's not just can affect people's life, physical, mental sides. It can also affect people in a very nasty way. You don't know who sits in your streams. You don't know what these people, what some people are like. You don't know if someone will get. Give you an example. There was someone who was a fan of Mr. Beast. They decided to fly all the way from somewhere in the world to the United States. They bought a car, a second-hand car, and they drove to the Target, I think it was, and they sat out there for 3.5 weeks until he did another video in that Target when he, that's scary shit.
Yeah, he actually lives less than an hour away from me. His name is Jimmy, and Jimmy's a really nice young man, and he's really down to earth, nice little fella. But he even has said how much he's had to up security from crazy people.
A lot of people have. I mean, like, there's people I am quite big fans of, and some of them don't need that security because they can look after themselves, because and there was one who, I'm not going to name the individual, but there was one, and she, she's a comedian, and like she was getting followed by freaking. In the end, she had to richly hire ex-cops to protect her.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing. They have to do that. And I mean, we don't think that he's that. Some of us, he's not that big of a YouTuber, but
Yeah,
people. Sometimes you get these fans, and they're a little, they're a little touched.
yeah. And all it takes is one person. And then I touch wood, it never happens. But all it takes is one person, and that's what I'm. I mean, if to be honest with you, if I wanted to and wanted to spend the time in the States to get permission to carry Second Amendment carry, I would stand outside that schoolhouse property and I would just stand there.
Hmm.
And I would check everyone. I would do 100% vehicle check and person check on everyone who goes anywhere near that, because like I know the difference between good and bad. I know the difference between truth and lies, and
Right.
like to see Miss. And I'm not trying to put my kiss his ass or anything. He's not human. Sorry, he's not perfect. He's a human being. He's made mistakes, and there's some things I don't agree on. But at the end
Right.
of the
I
day,
agree.
what he and George have been through, especially with George, right? Especially Jimmy Walker. You people better put in some more research because this bankruptcy will wipe out everything that Lynette is in, and Cook is hanging by a thread from being removed from the cases. Well, Jimmy, can you elaborate on that, please? Thank you. And what was I saying? And this whole fucking they like at the end of the day, right? George and Jeremy shouldn't be going through this. George was mocked because she had health scares, and she was mocked on that. Who in their right mind, whatever human being would mock someone on a health scare that she had? Who?
I agree. It's not the best. It's not the best at all. It just, I don't get it. I don't understand why to do that to people. I don't get it.
Mm. Wait a minute. Who's blocking the mod? Who's blocking the mod? Jimmy Walker, do you want to tell us who you really are? Just saying.
Well, he's JJ, of course. Anybody in the U.S. will know exactly who that is. He's JJ, of course.
What?
There's a show over here called Good Times, and Jimmy Walker
Mm.
is the star on the show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's I'm just saying that's just a funny thing.
Mm. Yeah, so Jimmy, if you got people blocked, it's not very nice if you got them blocked. But if you could go to the top, guys, and click live chat, and where it says click on the top left hand side, you have top chat and then live chat. Click on live chat. Sometimes it'll actually refresh, and then you'll see. Uh,
Jimmy refers that Crook is hanging on by a thread.
he's been hanging on by the thread for.
But according to who? I haven't heard a judge say that.
No.
I haven't heard a judge dismiss his grant his motion to dismiss. So I kind of think that thread might be a little thicker than old Jimmy thinks it is. In fact, last time Crook did a motion to dismiss, I do believe it was denied.
I mean, a person who knows a hell of a lot more about bankruptcy than what I'm hearing. Well, if like the thing is, did we say that we're subject experts, Jimmy? No, we didn't.
No.
No. What we did do is talk about what we know and what we are seeing. There's a difference. Now, obviously, you seem to sound like you are a subject expert. So why don't you explain to us what you think will happen?
Because again, that is what we think will happen. Because as old Jimmy can attest, we don't know what the judge is going to decide.
And
It's
also,
all up to him.
and Jimmy, this is just a fair warning. This is your first warning. If you do have any of the mods blocked, I would respectfully request that you unblock them. And if you don't, and they still don't see you, then obviously we'd have to then deal with this properly. But until then, you're more than welcome to make your opinion or make your comments in regards to the topic at hand. However, please make sure that you do it civilly. Yeah. Anyway, now you. Oh, right. Okay. So, right. Listen, guys. All right. Just so you know, all right. Sometimes YouTube has this really thing because it's happened to me. I've had people come into my stream, and I haven't been able to see them, and then suddenly I do see them. It happens. So let's just keep it on the civil level, all right? But just let's keep it civil. Let's get back to topic. Right. Do you think my pretty, we want so pretty, so we want so
Yes, darling. Yes, darling.
we want so pretty, oh, precious, we want it.
You know, I love it when you talk to me in that sweet nothing voice. Yeah, well, Jimmy, you're making a lot of assumptions that that's going to happen. Um,
Mm.
I don't see the signs being removed from the case.
Nor do I.
I don't see that happening. It may. I'm not going to say it wouldn't. It's not going to happen because I don't know what the judge is going to decide. But I can tell you right now, especially with the fact that they have a witness that places John at the place, putting the signs in the ground. I got a feeling he might be on the hook for that. Just a little feeling.
No, Jimmy, it's okay, mate. It's all been sorted. It's all been rectified in regards of blocks. So don't worry about that. You can carry on. Just carry on. I do. Yeah, just carry on. Let's just keep it rolling.
And wait one second. And Bella, the order to show cause was not on Lynette's bankruptcy. It was on another gentleman's bankruptcy. So just so you know, that it's the same attorney, but it's not on Lynette's bankruptcy. It's on another bankruptcy.
Do you know what I find quite interesting is the fact that, like I said right from the get-go, the fact that this bankruptcy was done now. Why wasn't this done around the time when loose?
Well, I guess they were trying to dismiss it first. See, as you sit back now, you can see how it unfolded. They thought they were going to come in, get it dismissed, and then be able to turn around and sue Jeremy. That was the whole plan in the beginning. You can see that now. That didn't happen. It kept going. It kept going. It kept going. They have exhausted all their motions to dismiss. They've done everything. And I say that they may have more options. I'm just saying up until this point they have. And now they see this is going to trial. They see that their ruse is not going to work. So they better dig down deep and find anything they can. And that's what they're doing at this point. That's why it's happening now. Because they tried everything else first before the bankruptcy. Because the bankruptcy hangs on your head for 7 years. Or I think it may be 8 years now, but it used to be 7.
I find it quite interesting that the bankruptcy only goes back 8 years. That's one thing I find quite strange is that the document only says 8 years. What about everything before that?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Like on the document for the bankruptcy, it says, "Have you used any other names prior to this in the last 8 years?"
8 years. So it may be that it goes back 8 years. I know that it hangs over your head for a while, and it hurts you as far as your credit and everything goes. In some ways, it can actually benefit you because you're easier after a bankruptcy to go get a car loan than you are beforehand because they know that for the next 7 years, you can't file bankruptcy again.
Right.
So they know that they're going to be able to go after you, and there's nothing you can do to stop them if
Mm.
you don't pay your bill. So sometimes it actually improves your ability to get credit, but it does hurt you and it does hang over your head for a long, long time.
Mm. Yeah. Well, we've covered enough here in regards to this topic. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, like Jimmy, here's the thing, okay? Like until the courts, this is why I don't take anyone's word unless it's from the courts. And if the courts say, right, that has been dismissed, that's been dismissed, the signs of this and that and all that's been dismissed, then I will take the judge's answer. When this is one of the things where people go wrong. They will listen to anyone and everybody. However, no one will actually go, oh, do you know what? The judge said nope, so it's a no. And that's what I'm doing until I actually see a document stating the judge has ordered, and ordered by it, and this is ordered that the evidence, like the signs and everything, because that is part and parcel of the federal case too, as well, is the fact that if those get dismissed, because they are part and parcel of the actual case itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and Jimmy, I get it. And to be honest with you, I don't care if you made your account yesterday or last year or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and you haven't misbehaved, you haven't trolled, or you've got your opinion. Oh, okay, goodbye. But at the end of the day, okay, we have a right for our opinion as well. May it be right or wrong. If it's wrong, we'll get educated by other people. If it's right, fine. But at the end of the day, we are going by what we are witnessing and seeing. We're not making shit up.
Right.
Okay, this is our opinion. And if Jimmy is a troll, then he'll
Well,
find his way back to the bridge, and good on
yeah,
good on him, good luck.
more power to him. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh wait,
everybody
no,
can't have. I was saying everybody can't have the same opinion on everything. There's
exactly,
no way. If
exactly.
it did, what a boring world we would have if everybody thought and believed the exact same way. It would be very, very boring in this world.
Yeah.
But I listen to the other side's arguments, and they've shared with me why they feel the way they do, and it's made me understand things a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm always open to listen to anything.
And I think this is one of the major problems in all this, is that people will not allow everyone else to have an opinion. It's like you to say as do as I say and not as I do. And as far as I'm concerned, right, even if you are wrong with your opinion, like, hypothetically speaking, even if you're wrong, I'm wrong, Jimmy's wrong, SMN's wrong, Cynthia, anybody is wrong in what they're saying. They can always be corrected by actual fact. So for example, if I go onto Pacer, if I go onto Pacer and I actually see a document, and go, oh fucking hell, I'm wrong. Then,
Right.
then in the next stream, I can go, oh, by the way, that stuff that we covered that day, blah 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 blah, we were actually wrong. In fact, it's like this, bang, done. Yeah. And so if you're going to say that you are right and everyone is wrong, well, no, everyone is wrong until they can prove they're right, and then when they prove they're right, then we can have a discussion. Other than that, it's just an opinion.
Hey, look, I don't mind eating my crow. I just like it with a good glass of Chianti and some fava
Oh my
beans.
god! Yeah. Right. Anyway, right, guys. Bella, I do know people who've got Pacer, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, or I'm not saying that you're right. But at the end of the day, you have to understand this is our opinion. Okay. And I respect what you're saying, but you have to understand this is our insight, our viewpoint on this, right? But it's not about it's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that's been mentioned here tonight where people should, instead of going, "Oh wow, it says in this document this and that document that," what we should be looking at is like a human being, a person who cries out wolf all the time. Pardon the expression. All right, has so many different variations of names, right? Has had documentation, official document, a license, a driving license is an official government document with a different name on it. What does that make? What happens if she's got multiple different IDs with different names on it? Hypothetically speaking, speculation. I'm not accusing her. I'm not. I'm just saying. What if? We have to look at the bigger picture. If you're going to be narrow-minded and run around with blinkers on, right? You're never ever going to see the bigger picture. You're never ever going to go sit back and go, well, actual fact. I mean, I've been wrong. Look, I was wrong about Jabba the Hutt, about him being arrested. I was wrong, and I said that on the live afterwards. Yeah, I was wrong about that. He wasn't charged. Boom, done. Everyone has a right to an opinion. If you don't like it, you don't have to sit and listen. Just saying.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right.
But anyway,
an option.
Yes. So now we've covered all that, my pretty is now going to take lead. She's going to talk about something else because we're now going to go into an intermission. We're going to have a quick break. So go for a potty break or whatever you want to go for a break. Right? And then when we come back after the intermission, we're going to do talking about something else, which you may like. And my pretty is going to be taking the lead on that. So we'll see you, in a minute?
All right.
In a few minutes after the song is finished. Yeah. And, one second. Wait, there you go. And we will see you after the intermission. So enjoy the tune. Bye-bye. And don't forget to mute your mic, my pretty.
Okay, I did.
All right. And talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye now.
hearsay man. Laid back boots in a hillside breeze, sipping Dr. Pepper with his dragon at ease. Loofah, loofah, he like many gifts of the loofah. Loofah, loofah, leaves him hanging in his barracks like a banner. He scrubs truth into the skin of the land with a daffodil smile and a calloused hand. Don't mess with the Englishman, I mean the Irishman. Wait, the Scottish man. Oh shit, I mean the Welshman. He'll give you a stare and a proverb too, then vanish on a mountain like the mist do. He don't need no war, no heavy command, just a melody line and a sponge in hand. When Babylon's stress tries to ruin his calm, he just hums and he scrubs like a loofah bomb. Loofah, loofah, he's the hillside soother. Trooper, trooper, the drill bug mover. He sings what he means and he means what he says. Spawn trooper got the grime of the world washed away. Spawn trooper, he don't beat round, he just be round. Loofah man, cleaning the vibe of the whole damn land. Trooper, trooper, loofah man, cleaning the vibe of the whole damn land.
And there we are, we're back. Yes, I hope that everyone had a chance to go and get themselves a drink, go to the potty, or lift a leg against a tree, whatever takes your fancy. And my pretty is back, and we are now going into film review. Yes, and my pretty is going to be taking lead on this. So, my pretty,
We want our pretty speaker was insane. We want it now.
over to you. You, Mike.
All right, I found a great film, guys. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not. It's called Wishman. It was back in 1993, and it's a true story. And it's about Frank Earl Shankowitz. He was born in 1940. In 1943, he passed in 2021. He was an American philanthropist who was a co-founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He received the President's Call to Service Award, Making a Difference in the World, the Making a Difference to Making a World of Difference, and the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. In 2019 is whenever, I'm sorry, I said it was a different day, but 2019 was the film Wish Man. You can find that free on Peacock and Plex. These are streaming platforms that stream movies for free. Frank was raised in northern Arizona. He attended grade school there. He went to junior high school there, and he also enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. And he was stationed in England and received an honorable discharge in 1965. He was employed by the Motorola for 7 years. He graduated from the Phoenix College in 1970 and continued his education at Arizona Western College and Arizona State University. In 1972, he began his career with the Arizona Department of Public Safety. He was assigned to the Arizona Highway Patrol as a car officer, and he began working with children as a coach for the Special Olympics program. In 1975, he was transferred to the Phoenix area to be part of a 10-man motorcycle tactical unit designed to work through the state. For the next 7 years, he was assigned to small towns. He would go and visit the schools and talk about bicycle safety and put the kids on his motorcycle and, everything like that. He lived a really, really hard life. His parents split up, and his mom moved him away from his dad, never told his dad where he was. His dad continued to look for him. Well, as a motorcycle officer, this woman approached them, and her son wanted to be a motorcycle cop so bad. He was a little boy, and he was passing away from cancer. So they assigned Frank to take care of this little boy and show him around the station. He was very, very bad off. So Frank took that upon himself. They even got the little fella uniform. Frank got him a copy of the wings that motorcycle officers get to use. And this little boy had the best last month of his life. It was just amazing. Well, Frank was hurt in a traffic stop and he almost lost his life. He had to come back from it. All these things combined really triggered him into helping other people. So he's decided to start a foundation called the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where children that were terminally ill could call in and tell them their wish, and they would try to provide for that child. It's still going on today. One of the hugest supporters of the Make-A-Wish Foundation is the Disney Corporation, sending children to Disney World with their parents and their family and letting them just have a wonderful memory. This man's life was so detailed. It just see where he started from and how he ended up. His mother ended up leaving him, and he was raised by a man that owned a restaurant that he worked in. He was only like 12 years old, and he worked as a dishwasher. And he ended up living with this man that owned the restaurant. He had a really, really hard life. Didn't think his dad wanted him, thought his dad had wanted nothing else to do with him. And just through a stroke of helping this one child that was terminally ill, he was able to find his daddy and realize his daddy had been looking for him for all these years and couldn't find him. It's a great movie, everybody. If you get a chance to watch it, it's called Wishman. Again, you can find it on Plex and you can find it on Peacock for free. True story. It's interesting to see how these things that we don't think about come to fruition, how they started with just a child. So that's it. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this or not, but it's absolutely amazing.
Interesting.
It is. It is absolutely amazing. I laughed through this movie. I cried through this movie. But it was a movie that my husband enjoyed watching too. So it's a girl movie that she'll love it, but the guy really gets into it because it's just heartening to see how. And he did it with nothing. I mean, he started to make a wish with absolutely nothing, no funds, no nothing.
Oh, Sarah Joy. Hi, Sarah Joy. Hi, 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 hi. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, um, oh, I forgot what I was going to say now, but I've got no previews for films or anything else, but I can say, yes, Kitten and Viper, welcome to the stream and welcome to the community.
Hey,
Yes,
Kid and Viper.
yeah. There are quite good films. I can't. Ooh, let me please hold. I'll tell you straight away what film I watched earlier on. Not that one. It was. Oh God, what was it called? It was. I watched today. I decided this morning or this afternoon when I finished doing a job. I decided to watch The Old Guard, and then I was like minding my own business, and suddenly I refreshed. I don't even know why. I sort of minimized my browser and then brought it back up, and suddenly I had freaking The Old Guard Part Two, which was new. So I watched that. So yeah. Um, so it's good. So if you've seen Old Guard, go and watch Old Guard Two. I'm not going to go into it in depth. And then comedies wise or drama, Resident Alien. Now that's freaking hilarious. If you like a little bit of comedy with aliens and God knows what else, go and check that out. And also you've got House, which is the House MD, and the other one I've been watching is Lucifer. That's another one I've been watching.
Yeah. Oh, House and D. I would get sick just so House could come and
Yeah.
and give me a once over because I'm gonna tell you what, I love that TV show.
I mean, I enjoy it, so it's
Oh my god, I love House. And when he talks in his real voice, like because he is from the UK, so whenever he speaks that way, he's just not the same person. I don't even want to look at him. He's not the same person. He doesn't have the house voice. He doesn't sound anything like himself. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like when Americans try to talk in an English accent. You know what I mean, Matt? You know, it's like you're being punched in the throat while you're sucking on a gobstopper. Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's like one of those times where, like, just be quiet, don't talk. But yeah, so that was the film review. I mean, it's going to be a quick one today. We've had really good in-depth conversation about the names Lynette Preston has been using in the past, and people need to step out the box and think before you act and speak. Everything is online. All you have to do is Google it. But
Like
don't contact.
I just sat here and thought about something that I have to share with you because it tickled me, so I know to tickle you.
Go
I
on.
was just sitting here thinking you were talking about how Americans try to use a British accent and don't always come out right, and I said, "Well, Lord," I said, "What would a Southern person, sound like trying to use a British accent?" And
Oh
I thought,
Jesus.
people from Liverpool.
Oh no. Oh yeah. I didn't say that. By the way, for the record, I did not say that.
I was only teasing. I'm only teasing.
I do not, under any circumstances, take responsibility of what she just said.
And I'm sure there's some mighty fine people from Liverpool, but it just caught me as different that they sound like the Southern version of the American people.
Sarah George just went, please lose a pawn. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. You just can't take you people anywhere.
I know it. Dress us up and can't take
Right.
us nowhere.
Game review. Oh, sorry, go on. Go
No,
on.
I said you can dress us up, but you can't take us nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, dropping off. I mean, I don't even stop the fucking vehicle. I just push you out. Right. Do you want to do a game review, or shall I? Oh yeah, I was going to talk
No,
about.
you do the game review.
Okay. Right. Okay, guys. Now, obviously, you've noticed that over a while, I usually play World of Warships. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear that World of Warships is for free, just like World of Warplanes, World of Tanks, everything. It comes from. Um, excuse me a second. Right now, it is free. All you need to make sure is you need to check the requirements, like what type of computer you got, because some computers can't actually keep up with it. Graphics card or RAM. Okay, but it is a free game. You can earn stuff, and yes, you can spend money on it if you wish to do so. We've mentioned this before, but it's a free game. And like one night when I decide to start playing, if you decide that you want to, jump on and come and join me, then you're more than free to do so, right? And then we can all have a little bit of fun. And if need be, we can fight each other. I don't know, but anyway, so World of Warships is one game. What were you talking about last time? That game last time?
The game last time I talked about was on Roblox Grow a Garden. It was they just had a summer update where it's a prehistoric thing. You can actually get dino eggs and you hatch them and you get little dinosaurs that do stuff in your garden. And I have to admit that myself and my best friend was up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Didn't start till 10, but we were up at 9 because you get all free stuff when it has updates. But that's a
Yeah.
good game to play, like with your kids. It's wonderful. I play with my grown children. They get online, I get online, and we play together, and it's so much fun. But we've really enjoyed that. It's something to take away the boredom, and yet it's a little fun and it's exciting, and it's something you can do with your children and your grandchildren. People, you need to spend that time. We've got to adjust to their world. Their world is technical, and it's something that we didn't experience really growing up. It was just really starting back in the 80s and 70s. But we've got to get on the bandwagon. We can't be left in the dust and considered old boomers. We got to get with the program.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, look, I wasn't. I was one of those, I'm like, I can't do it because I don't have good at hand-eye coordination. So I can't play the army games they like to play in the shooting games. And I'm like, it got too hard for me, and they got aggravated trying to teach me how to push the certain buttons. But on Roblox, there are no buttons. You just use your keyboard, and you don't have to have, pinpoint scope and ability to shoot something, and you don't have to. It's just a totally different scenario, and it's something that we can do as Gen Xers and Boomers, and our kids will love it.
I mean, the thing is, I got Total War. Is it Total War? I can't remember what game it is. I haven't played it because, like, it's just you have to grind and grind and grind and grind, and you'd be lucky to get anything. But hey, games are there to enjoy, to decompress, and to have fun. And sometimes there's times where I play a game like I did last time when I played live. For a second, I actually forgot that I was live streaming. So
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, my best friend and I, we sit on the phone and talk while we play. And we play with each other, and she's in a different state than I'm
oh
in.
yeah, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Those we keep private now. But she's in a different state. I'm in a different state. But it allows us to have fun with each other. And Roblox is so much fun, people. Please, I encourage you so much. Grow a Garden is one of the best ones to start with. And the Haunted House Tycoon is a great one to start with. It's very simple. It tells you exactly step by step what to do. And your grandkids or your kids will think that you have just, like, oh, you play video games? Because that's what they're into, folks. Let's face facts. That's what they're into. And we've got to make our memories with these children while we can. Because once we're gone, memories are all they're going to have left.
No comment.
It's a truth.
I refuse to answer that. Daniel, how you doing? Oh, and by the way, to all the newcomers, all the new people who've come in, welcome to the community. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I hope that you stay, and I hope that you enjoy the content. And hi, Daniel, how you doing? But what we're going to do now, we are going to go into the most important part of the whole stream. Pow! Coffee time. So go and get yourself a brew. I have to go and pray to the porcelain god again. So, my pretty, over to you.
I got you. See, what it is he drinks so much of his coffee or his Dr. Pepper that he's got to run back and forth to the bathroom 50 million times. Worse than a pregnant woman. And you guys talk about us girls. Oh, good Lord. All right, guys, don't forget, July 10th is when Randy's got to have that response in. So keep that in mind. So between now and the 10th, we're looking for paperwork to come in to see what Randy responds to. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the court has to address this or not, this bankruptcy. I don't know if the court has to address it and admit it, or how that works as far as the stay goes. I'm not exactly sure. So be looking out for information coming about that to explain to us how the stay really works. Because there are exceptions. Whether this case of Jeremy's falls under those exceptions, I do not know. That will be something that the judge will have to make a determination on. But I don't think he's going to be happy based on the fact that he gave all these postponements for her to get an attorney because she made it sound like she was getting an attorney for the case, not getting a bankruptcy attorney. They should have been upfront and honest with the people that were donating. That's just my personal opinion.
Right, I'm back, and I fucking heard what you said.
Well, the part about you drinking too much and having to go to the bathroom like a pregnant woman?
Yeah.
And did I lie? That's the whole point. Did I lie?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
1 sec, I just need to blow my nose.
Oh Lord, poor little fella's just falling to pieces on us, guys. He's just falling to pieces on us.
No, I'm not. I've got super glue.
Oh God, that's such a man thing to say.
Oh, you've cut your finger. Let me super glue it. I've done that. I've done that once.
I don't doubt it in the least. A girl would be like, "Let me get a Band-Aid." Guy's like, "Oh no, I got some super glue in the truck."
But the thing is, one thing you have to remember, if you don't use medical super glue, but you use normal super glue, you have to remember the chemicals in there are different than the ones in the actual one they use in hospitals. So you just be a little bit careful when you do that. Right? Anything on your fingers, if you cut down, I don't want to go into detail, but I did cut my finger once, and it was deep. So I just applied pressure and then put a little drop of super glue on it, and boy, I did a Garfield impression in the ceiling. I mean,
I bet you did. I bet that
oh,
lit you right on up, Jack.
oh, do you know what? Yeah, do you know if they'd have came and tasered me, I'd have laughed at them. Uh, I mean, I've got a high pain threshold, but that woke me up. That was like a cold shower.
I can't remember if it was mercurochrome or methylate. I think it's methylate. Back in the 70s, that my grandma used to put on me if we got like a bruise or we cut ourselves or something. And let me tell you something, that'd light you right on up, Jack. Be like the 4th of July in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
It would burn so bad, it was unreal.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I can remember when I got stung by a bee, and I just ran in and I went, "I've been stung by a bee," and then I can remember my mum pulling out the sting and then cutting an onion, and I looked at it and I went, "Oh, she's pulled the sting out, thrown it in the bin, and now she's cutting fucking onions to make dinner." And until I realized that that onion ended up on the back of my fucking neck, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, because the onion acids in the onion can basically do something with the bee sting. Because the thing is, when you get stung, if you look at the bee sting, it's still pulsating.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I grew up with the mountain grandma, and so you know, back then you didn't call the doctor, you didn't go to the doctor for just anything. You had to be like on death's door before you went to the doctor. And so, you know, I'm prone to a lot of self remedies and using things that you would look at somebody and go, huh? Like using toothpaste for a burn and, you know, different things like that. Just little things my grandmother had to know because that's the way times was, and you had to learn how to take care of yourself.
yeah. The thing is, toothpaste on the burn. Yeah, if you have a burn, um, go and run a tap and keep. Believe it or not, the longer you keep it under running water, not cold, but under running water, the longer you keep it under, the quicker the pain will reside. And also, um, don't cover it up, because the thing is, what you're doing, you're keeping the heat in. So don't
Right,
cover a burn
yes.
wound up, just so you know. And don't remove anything from a burn. If anything, if you see clothing or anything stuck in a burn, don't remove it.
Yeah, I
Um,
made the mistake of I was taking a cast iron frying pan out of the oven, was cooking a cake of cornbread. And my daughter she ran up to me and hit my legs, and I was dropping that cast iron frying pan. It would have hit her. And I reached down with my hand and I grabbed that cast iron frying pan and I put it back in the oven.
oh snap!
And and at first it didn't burn me. And I couldn't understand why it didn't burn me at first. And then once a few minutes had set in and you know the nerves started waking back up, I about had a fit. Well, we went to the emergency room because I'd blistered myself. And so they had tried to wrap my hand up with a bandage. And it was, I mean, it was burning incredibly, and to the point that my husband finally walked over and pushed the nurse out of the way and took the bandage off my hand and told her, "You're not wrapping her hand up.
Hmm.
That's stupid." He said, "That's just going to hold the heat in there. You're not doing that to her. She's not going to sit there and cry. It's not going to happen." And so, yeah, I learned real early on about a burn. That was terrible.
1 second.
She filed
Yeah.
Chapter 7, Sarah Joy.
I mean, if you get when you burn yourself and you see like the burn marks on your fingers or something like that, that's second degree burning. Because it goes below, because you've got 7 layers of skin. But anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. It's been a very, God, I got something choked. Wait, hang on a minute.
You got a lot of people asking questions. So you might want to do your question and answer time.
Yeah, yes, Mum. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Question and answer. Let's do this.
I just see a whole bunch popped up, so I thought you might want to.
Right, guys, remember, if you're going to ask questions, please do it at My Pretty or at Spawn Trooper, and then, do it like if you say hello to, just put your question down so we know who you're addressing, and if it's for both of us, then, yeah, let's do it that way.
I'll answer Sarah Joy's. Have any of the lawsuits finished yet? No, nothing yet. It's still, everything is still ongoing. And you can file on something that's not in existence yet. As far as the bankruptcy goes, you can file on the anticipation. Whether or not that's accepted by the judge and admitted into your bankruptcy, that's a different story. It's all going to depend on the judge.
Do you know that it's been very quiet about the disciplinary for Bruce?
Yeah, that? they don't talk about that at all. They act like it just hasn't. They act like it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that it's coming.
And the fact that he said that he would rather quit as a lawyer.
Exactly.
Mm. I mean, the fact that,
See, Sarah Joy, she kind of knows that, like Deanna and Travis and Rex, and that police officer, they all have the ability to file towards her because of something she did. So that's how she can add those people into as potential debtors, because she knows if she doesn't have a charge account with Macy's, then she can't add that to it because she doesn't have any dealings with them. She's got to add everybody she's got dealings with.
Sorry, I've got something stuck in my throat, and I'm trying to.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm just reading and answering as they come through.
Yeah, I mean.
So see, she's listing them as potential. See, since Jeremy's suing her, she can list that as he becomes a debtor for her, because the potential is that she could lose the lawsuit and therefore she could be responsible for monetary damages. So she wants to include that now in the bankruptcy to try to cover that. But like again, I say there's exceptions, because you have to think of it like this. Anybody could do that and the other person wouldn't get justice. The other person, whoever's suing them for whatever the reason is, they wouldn't necessarily get justice for what's happening. I think it just depends. Even though Jeremy's a debtor, he's not a debtor like, your Macy card. It's not a retail company. So I think there are some differentials in there, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked into the bankruptcy like I have everything else.
So technicality, if Lips sues people, all you have to do is put in a bankruptcy.
Do what now? Yeah.
If it works for Lynette, it's going to work for everyone else. When Lips decides to sue the world, all you have to do is put in Chapter 7 or Chapter 11 or 13 bankruptcy.
Right.
Done.
So you can say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever to somebody, as long as you keep it in as long as under a civil lawsuit, and that person can sue you, and there's no way for that person to recoup damages. That just doesn't ring true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying that I haven't studied it enough and it doesn't ring true. And if it doesn't make sense, you really need to question it and you really need to investigate it, because most things in the law make sense.
See, this is what happens when you listen to idiots like Mr. Magoo and Keelnose Deuce and
And well,
Luscious.
Mr. Magoo, you got to worry about. I mean, he's this great attorney, but he went to prison, so obviously he was so good. Because I mean, he did stuff that got him put in prison.
Oh,
You have to question.
The Ohio fees, Nelly. Oh, look, they haven't even caught up yet with the Ohio court, so they're way behind. So just wait until they catch up to everything that's been going on. I have a personally, I think that and this is me just guessing. I'm just speculating. Contempt of court, possible jail time.
Yes, exactly. It these are possibilities. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We're just saying these are possibilities that can happen from
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And I'm not a betting person. I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble my money. So she's taking a gamble. I hope it pays for her sake. I hope it pays off for her, but I don't think it's going to.
But the thing is, with this bankruptcy and everything that's happened, here comes my personal insight on this. 1 second, I need to blow my nose again. Here comes the thing. The only thing that hasn't been directly yet again, it's been brought up and it's been discussed. But all this can give. How can I put it? It can start putting a light on the adoption. A lot of questions can start being asked about the adoption because there's already question marks above it. So I think Lynette has been listening to the wrong people, and I think that she's been misled. Um, does that justify her behavior? Absolutely not.
No,
You know.
it doesn't. But she's been donated enough money to have gotten a really good attorney that can handle most of this.
So what was that $6,000 for?
That money paid the bankruptcy attorney $6,000. Say that again, people. $6,000 for a bankruptcy attorney. If you had $6,000 in cash laying around, you might not have to go to bankruptcy. Just saying, just thinking out loud.
Listen, in the future, if I ever do decide to monetize, I expect to become a millionaire within a week.
I agree. I think you should too, because then
Yeah.
you can, pass a little money on to me.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the wait, what?
No. You said it. You said exactly. We got you already. You said it online.
God dang it! Because here's the thing. If you people out there are so dumb to give these people money for them to go and fucking do what they like, then why not give it to someone or give it to people who've got good causes? Like all the money that I receive, obviously I'm gonna upgrade the stream. I'm gonna get different platforms so I can soundboard and shit like that. But the rest of it is going to be paid forward to homeless veterans, to veteran organizations. And I'm always going to show transparency on that. But if you're that silly and that ignorant and just give these people the money, do you know what? Just wait until I monetize and then I will then pay it out. I'll pay it forward for you. Because I'm not going to go on me. I'm not going to grift. I'm not, I've had people when I first started live streaming, they went, oh, how can I send you something? I don't want it. Pay it forward. Give it to so-and-so. Give it to so-and-so. Pay it forward. But
Sarah Joy said she's probably going to have to do credit counseling. She's already done credit counseling. I think she did that on the 26th or 28th. She already did the credit
yeah,
counseling
she
thing,
did that
and
a
I
few
believe
weeks.
she did it with her lawyer's office.
Oh, we're getting stream sniped. We're getting stream sniped. I need to do the same thing. Hang on a minute. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go and snipe Squidicus. Ha ha. Ha ha. Hello, everybody in Squidicus Maximus Decimus stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My pretty, carry on talking. Carry on talking.
Okay, I got you. But yeah, she's already done the credit counseling part. She did that before they filed the bankruptcy. Um, I don't know, Nina. I believe each state has their own little tidbit that they can add on to anything to make it theirs. But I think the overall thing of bankruptcy is the same because I think it's more federal than anything.
Yeah, do you know that? Do you know that? You know that like Squid just screen sniped me and actually had us on her stream, and I am now in her stream in chat, and I can't type for shit because I want to pay attention to what we're doing, and like, why are you order? I'm going to so derail her now. I'm going to wait a minute. Let me.
So yeah, Nina, I am right. The core values in a bankruptcy stay the same because it's federal, but certain things associated with property and personal property and that aspect can be governed by the state. So it's just like is in with most things. You got to remember how your laws are made. Your laws go your district courts, then you go to your you got your district, your circuit, then you go to your federal, then from your federal you go to your you got your state, then your federal, and then you go to the Supreme Court. That's how your levels go. And so anything a state has, it can't go against the federal laws. And the federal laws can't go against the Supreme Court. Supreme Court can't go against the Constitution. It all flows down. So
This whole time I was fucking talking, and I just realized I was muted. What the fuck? Steve Ambord. What
see what
freaking?
you do.
I know.
He wants to know, can you start from the beginning of the stream? he, wa- he wants he wants you to rewind, please.
What, and turn it into a 24-hour fucking stream? I'm going to do that one day.
And yes, Sarah Joy, it's already filed with the court. I got the bankruptcy paperwork posted in the Facebook group under featured. And so it's in there so that everybody can find the bankruptcy paperwork that's been filed so far easily. If you do decide to look it up on your own, just a little tidbit, everybody, I do believe you have to look it up under Michelle. That's what we had to do the other day. Instead of Lynette, we had to look it up under Michelle. And as new stuff comes in on that, I'll post it to keep us updated so we kind of know what's going on.
Do you know something?
I know a whole lot.
I just got stream sniped by Squid, and she came in, and then I went and clicked. I went to have her stream, and there we were on her stream. I feel quite privileged now.
Joey, I'm glad you asked that question. What group is that? Good job, Joey. That is Otter Creek 2 Town. Otter Creek 2 Town on Facebook. Come join us, guys. If you're not already a member, come be a member. It's so much fun. You'll have a blast in there. And you get all the court paperwork. It's all posted for you to look at it, for you to sit down and read it whenever you're ready. And I try to be fair. We do joke, we do kid, we do tease, but there's no bullying, there's no arguing, there's no dissension amongst the ranks, as the old saying goes. It's just a really cool vibe in there. It really is.
Yeah, I do apologise for not muting myself because I've got something stuck in my throat and it's not coming out, so I'm trying to cough it out.
Oh, you're fine. Get that hairball up. That's what you get for licking yourself.
Feck off.
That's what you get. You've been around that cat entirely too long. You know they got cream for that.
No, and then he starts coughing and then I start coughing. I'm like, I can't fucking win.
Yeah, poor thing. I feel sorry for him coughing so much. Allergies have been terrible. He has the worst allergies, even worse than me.
See, he coughed and then I coughed. I mean, it's like a chain fucking reaction. It's like he coughed, I coughed, and then the cat will cough, and then everyone coughed.
We live on the East Coast, so that storm that's coming in anytime, especially this time of year for us, is bad for allergies because we've got all that pollen and stuff blowing in from different countries that we're not familiar with that come in with the storms.
And Lisa, have you been drinking?
Are you holding out on us, Lisa?
Yeah, are you? Come on, Lisa, tell us the truth.
And don't be holding out. Girl, you're supposed to be sharing. Everybody's supposed to get a shot.
Joseph, it is good to see you again. Sarah, it's also good to see you. Gail, oh my God, Spawn Trooper licks up. Gail! God, Jesus, can't take her nowhere. Yeah, there was something I was going to say. One thing, guys, everything that, I just want to make this absolutely clear. Everything that you've heard in this stream tonight, okay, is publicly available on Google.
Yes.
Okay, you can research it. I am going to ask you not to contact anybody, especially not on my behalf. This court case, one way or the other, is going to end at some point. And, you know, when you've got a group of people lying through their teeth and even, here's another thing. And I'm not sure if the judge has actually clocked this or not and should be reminded. I mean, the fact that Randy sort of hinted at it, but the fact that, like, when you putting into a legal document that you put onto a case stating that you were fired as the lawyer, but there's proof to state that you did not get fired, instead, in fact, that you went up to your client or potential or public, whatever client, and asked them to release you. That is, that's illegal.
Well, I will play devil's advocate and say one thing about Bruce.
He's a dickhead.
And I will say this about him. I believe his heart was in the right place. I believe he was in way over his head. And I believe that he had no idea what he was getting himself into until he was already in it. I think he saw it as an easy win. He looked at it the same as he does employment cases where the companies are ready to just, settle and get it over with because they don't want to spend the money in attorney fees. So it's cheaper to pay somebody $25,000 and make it go away and settle the case than it is to fight it out in court.
Right, quick question. Who are you and what have you done with my pretty?
Well, no. That's the
I'm
truth.
joking. I'm joking.
I mean, I tell that's the God's honest truth. I think he thought it was going to be an easy win. I don't think he anticipated he would have to actually argue a case like a real litigating attorney. I don't think, because that's not his bag.
I think right, here's my opinion. This is probably where me and you may agree to disagree or disagree to agree. From the get-go, all he has done was tried to get publicity from this case for himself. However, he would play the game. He would play the lawyer-client game. However, most of the attention was about him. You have to remember that at one point he dragged multiple people into this when he was on different people's platforms way before he ended up on the Crampons platform. Don't forget, he also tried to get the DOI guy involved in this by going on his platform. So it's all about him getting the publicity. That's why he was mouthy on the Facebook platform and on YouTube. You have to remember, he has always had multiple YouTube accounts. So why did he never ever use his YouTube account? Because he didn't want any of this directed to his YouTube. So that means he could play the nice guy there. Now, if he is such a professional lawyer,
Oh, and I
what?
never used that word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do apologize for using foul language. If he is like lawyer, why has he been on all these platforms? Why, if you want to take a page out of a professional lawyer's book, let's look at Feather. Let's have a look at Socket. Two lawyers, right? And I'm going to say this, Sean Martin as well. I haven't seen those three on any people's platforms going on about case and saying this and saying that. I haven't. Have you? I haven't.
No, I didn't see. You didn't see Silverman.
No. Yes, exactly. All right. However,
And
go on.
I was gonna say, and heck, for that matter, you really ain't seen Stark up there saying nothing.
No, just yeah. I mean, he was a patsy anyway. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Deuce Matskin or Mr. Foreskin or fucking Keelnose or BBB or that idiot, he has done nothing but try to get his own name out there, and he's walked over other people's credibility and names to get that. And then he lies in documents. Then he fabricates shit in documents, and then he lies that he was fired as the attorney representing Lynette Preston, where we not just got Lynette Preston stating that he asked to be dismissed as their lawyer, and that he approached them. So I mean, Tweedledee, Tweedledummer.
Yep.
It's one of those things where you like go, dude. It's like looking at a searchlight. You can see it. You can see what you're doing. But the thing is, you have to do on the flip side, you have to give him credit because he sat on their platform and tried to correct Lips and everyone else, and then got shouted down.
Right.
So it's a very hard case to give him any type of credibility whatsoever.
I agree. No. I agree with you completely. But I'm just saying, like I said, I don't think he anticipated it going in the direction it did. He thought that it would be an easy win. It would be that Jeremy would settle and they go about their business, because when you do employment law, a lot of times that is what happens. The company, I worked for major companies, multi-million-dollar companies. Sometimes it was just cheaper. Even though we were in the right, sometimes it was cheaper just to pay them a piece of money and get them off than it was to pay our attorney to fight that case.
Yeah. Excuse me. And the thing is, if here's another thing, even though when he's flapping his gums, because we know there's lawyers out there who go on YouTube and they talk about cases and shit like that. But if he had kept his mouth shut a little bit more than he did and only commented on certain things, right, maybe he would have received a little bit more credibility than he had. I mean, apparently he's been a lawyer for 26 years, 27 years, but he's only been a lawyer in certain types of cases.
Right.
Right. And with him involving Mr. Magoo and hello you guys and freaking everyone else, they've just basically undermined him and spoke all over it, and like he's basically shot himself in both foots on both sides. And now he's on the receiving end of a lawsuit that he put himself into. No one else is to blame except himself.
I agree completely. I agree with you on that completely. He is to blame for that 100% in himself.
And the fact, sorry, go on.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say he is 100% to blame for that one, because he, in my opinion, he wants to be so much like Larry. He wants to be respected like Larry's respected. He wants to have the notoriety that Larry has. He wants the accolades because he feels like he's put in 20-some years as an attorney.
Yeah.
Larry doesn't have that many years under his belt, and yet Larry's more successful than Bruce is.
Larry's more fucking professional. Let's be real about this.
completely. Even now, you don't hear Larry up on his channel talking about this case and spewing it. You don't hear that happening. There's a reason why you don't do that when you're in litigation. Now, afterwards, I'm sure he'll address it. The
Let's get
cases
him on
that he
here
has
for an
on
interview.
there,
Hang
yeah,
on
the
a minute.
cases that he has on there are old cases that he's done.
Did Sarah Joy, are you okay? Did you bang your head? Have you been taking anything? You want me to invite Bruce Matskin onto my platform for an interview? Are you?
Well, wouldn't that be great?
Oh, he wouldn't get a word in fucking sideways. Hell, I think I think they would lock my platform down for 7 days once I'm fucking done with him.
Oh, boy, wouldn't that be a show?
Oh, it'd be a really quick one, yeah.
We could sell tickets.
Pay-per-view. I would richly go pay-per-view for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I'll be the referee.
that guy freaking went, like, when I first pointed his discrepancies out on Facebook, he went after me, trying to be, going after and everything else, talking about me on that platform as well. And I thought that was the moment I realized that this guy was an absolute freaking idiot. And the biggest mistake he ever did that day for me to then go, right, okay, it's playtime, fella, was when he called me an imbecile and then deleted that. And then when I proved that he deleted it, he then went fucking quiet. That guy isn't. No, I can tell you one thing now, Sarah. No, I wouldn't have that guy on my platform. I would rather sit here and put rusty nails in my knee and then play tic-tac-toe.
I'd love to see him and Tug go on a debate with each other.
The thing is, Bruce is one of these type of people. He wants center of attention. He wants to be heard all the time, right? He won't listen. He won't sit there. Look what happened on that stream with the crampons. He can't sit there and not have a stupid opinion. If you turn around to him and say, well, listen, your behavior like this, your behavior this, that, and this, he will have an answer and an argument for everything. The fact that he got caught out lying about the GoFundMe last year, the fact that he got caught out fabricating, coming up with shit, right? And the fact that he sat on the platform whining and complaining about, oh, he was burping and coughing and farting and yeah, no. The guy is an absolute space. An actual fact, right? I know for a fact he's going to lose his license. I know that for a fact.
I hope so down the road because he's God love him. He's something, that's for sure. He is something.
Oh, and I've just been sent. Oh, okay. That's and here's one thing that people and this is either people have like memories of a goldfish, or they just ignore what's being said and they're just watching it day by day. You know, when you see something, you go, oh yeah, I saw that, and then someone a couple of months later, someone says, oh, did you see that? Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, but they don't sort of take the information in and actually make make it
Right.
into a case. And one thing I noticed with Bruce, and I noticed with a couple of other people before, the crampons and that. Like, look at the crampons and swamp lizard. They were on the platform before even Bruce turned up. And then when he turned up, he was like, "Oh my god, it's a novelty fucking toy." That's what it was like. It was like, "Oh, we've got a novelty toy," and then Bruce was on there giving advice, talking legal and shit like that. And then next thing you know, you've got those idiots putting up legal documents. And then suddenly
Right.
they become fucking the experts, right? But he then sits on a platform one night, whinging and complaining and whining that Silverman wasn't handing over any legal documents about the case. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. He's definitely a weird bird, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a weird bird.
Yeah. But anyway, final thoughts from you, my lady.
Just looking forward to what the rest of the week's going to bring to us with Randy answering this motion, and to see what this bankruptcy really does do to the case. I'm assuming there'll be some kind of order that'll have to come down through the courts for this case and for the one in the two in Levy County. So just anxious to wait and see what happens with that. Again, guys, Otter Creek Tube Town, come join me. Have a good time. We'll play around the rest of the week and see if we can find out.
And something else, if you ever guys, you want to go and check out Otter Creek Tube Town Facebook group, okay, you won't get any BS around there when it comes to the legal documents. And this is why I just pay attention to the legal documents, because whatever people say, or all it is based on a personal opinion and observation. The legal documents are the most important thing about all this. So if you want the facts, you want the truth, right? Go to TubeTag, go into my pretty's the channel, the Facebook group she's in, and go and check out the documentation, because at the end of the day, they are from the horse's mouth, may it be from the magistrate or the motions that either side have put in. That there is the factual truth that you should be paying attention to. Everything else, excuse me, I need to cough. Everything else is a bonus.
Right, because all the judge is looking at is just what passes through that clerk of court. He doesn't see anything that doesn't pass through the clerk of court. So you're actually getting a chance to see what the judge is seeing and basing his information on. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know the backstory. He doesn't know what's happening on YouTube, doesn't know what's happening on Facebook. He don't know any of those things. He just knows what crosses his desk. And that's what he has to use whenever he makes his decisions about motions and different things. So keep that in mind when you're reading those things, but definitely educate yourself, because you can't have an opinion if you don't know what you're talking about. And reading the court documents, if nothing else, teaches you how our legal system really works in this country.
I mean, as a non-Americanese, okay, let me put this in the most polite, a serious type of tone. As a non-member of the American country of America, and not living over there, and not living in and out, and that, I can't really comment on the legal situation over there in regards of the absolute clusterfuck of legal system that you've got over there. But from someone from a different country, and I may be speaking for myself, I may be speaking for other people from various different countries, your legal system is so messed up and so corrupt and so. I mean, when tourists come to the UK and they go to major cities like Cardiff, London, Edinburgh, Glasgow, places like that, and they look at the bus timetable and they see the map of routes, that's what it looks like. Your system needs to be checked, and in regards of the child, that's not the only thing that's going on in Florida, in Levy County. There's more stories about shit like that. But again, if you watch and you pay attention, you'll notice that certain individuals will stop going on and on and on and on about stalking and about defamation and slander, and trying to show CCTV footage or videos from cars going past, allegations. What about this memorial? Why has that suddenly gone quiet? Why aren't they crying, screaming bloody blue murder about that, which they were for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now suddenly everything has gone silent? Why? Is it because you're not getting your way? Because you're not getting the foothold that you wanted or you thought that you'd get?
It's because they said they're still waiting on the item to get here from China. No harm meant, but I order stuff from Temu and it's sure it comes from over there and I can get it no problem.
Wait a minute, Temu? Why have I heard that one before?
Oh, yeah. Exactly, yeah. But I'm just saying, I mean, they're saying they're having to wait for it to get here from China still.
Oh my God. I mean, like the biggest issue that I've got is that those absolute morons involved and interfered in the businesses of Jeremy Hells. The fact that they emailed, and they said this themselves, that they emailed Oli, and that like Bruce Matskin emailed freaking whatnot.
Yep.
They had nothing to do with this case. But the thing is, like, but why haven't they been talking about YouTube? I mean, Bruce Maxkin wrote to the legal department, didn't he, a while back?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I ain't seen nothing.
So technically, on a technicality, Jeremy could write to YouTube and say, right, these are the people that I'm being harassed by. There is a court case going on. Could you please, I mean, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. However, YouTube has terms and conditions and guidelines. And
Yes,
so
because
so
it's a
far,
private company. Even though you have the right to this, to your freedom of speech and all that stuff, people don't realize YouTube is a private company. They can refuse you to be able to go on their platform anytime they want to for any reason,
mm,
because it's a private company.
mhm. And you know
Like,
something? What? Sorry, go on.
I would just say, just like you can go into McDonald's and McDonald's can have you removed because they're a private company, even though they serve the public, they're still a private company.
Hmm. Well, before we finish here, one thing I am going to say is this: I've seen a lot of people come into my stream who have been on a receiving end of the anti what the hell's ecosystem, and also from other people as well from on the other side of the coin. And all I'm going to say is this: make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, and step out of the box and look at this from a different perspective. Look at this from a distance. Because the thing is, a lot of people, I've seen it on Facebook in that group, a lot of people are missing stuff when they do make comments and posts. And they can get very, very, very out of context very quickly. And all I'm saying is this: just think before you speak, think before you act, and get your facts right. If it's an opinion, then make sure you state that. But if you're trying to make a statement of fact, make sure you got the proof. So, ladies and gentlemen, my pretty, would you
Yes.
like to say something before we call it a night?
Nope, I'm going to let you get off from here. I'm going to get off from here, and I enjoyed it, and I appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed spending time with everybody, and I'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. And just so you know, on Wednesday, I'll be force fed by Squid Pro Quo again. And anyone who's got any type of tools or safety equipment for these rabbit holes that I'm going to be going down in on a Wednesday, I would really appreciate if you can send them to me so I have protection when I do go down these rabbit holes because it's quite scary. Um, my pretty mind sweetness, thank you very much for being here tonight. We'll see you next Monday, hopefully.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. See you later, Squid, Sarah Joy, Joey, everybody. Talk to you later.
Take care. And that was our beautiful My Pretty, yet again, who brings normality and facts to the table. I don't have anything further to say. All I can say is to everyone who's joined the Wolf Den, welcome to the Cave Cubs. And all I can say is enjoy the community. You will find that the community. I'm going to end up with, but yeah. All I can say is that you will find exactly what you're looking for in this the community from all different walks of life. And all I can say is make sure you keep it civil. And if you're having a conversation, if it's constructive, please be constructive, be polite, right? Even if it's constructive criticism, right? Just try to keep it on a polite, right? We are a community who support each other. And remember, we've got obviously My Pretty. 1 second. We got Squid Pro Quo, who's here, who's going to be live on Wednesday, where we're going to be going down a rabbit hole about the aviation industry and everything else. So remember that. And then obviously we got My Pretty. So please, 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 if you're not subscribed to My Pretty and you want to go and be subscribed and just support her, right? Please go and hit this link and go and support her. Okay. Rickles64, I went back to the beginning. It was Squid's fault that I wasn't here for the beginning. Rickles, yeah, just put the motion in and let the judge decide that, because yeah, I just see excuse after excuse. No, I'm only joking. But anyway, welcome, Rickles, and to all the newcomers, welcome. That's all I can say is just welcome to the community, and thank you very much for being here. And remember, be nice and keep it. A smile a day keeps the weird people away. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. And to all the moderators, thank you for being here and making sure the community was safe and secure. So on that note, take care, everybody. Bye-bye now. Wait, what? Yes, wrong button. Don't!
They go live every night selling drama on demand with crampons sitting on their ass and dicky on hand. Fake tears falling, oh I'm just speaking truth, while they pocket super chats and exploit the loons. Gator rolls in trying to act real cool, but he's stirring up heat, breaking all the rules. Haters in a circle, all bark, no bite, till Spawn Trooper drops and it flips on the light. Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he says the situation at hand. Spawn Trooper, is weak with this one. Deuces in the mix, spinning lies for the stream. He acts like a king, but his throne's just a meme. Dodging all the questions with a scripted phrase, trying to fool the crowd, but he's just a face. Bones Lacker's got a seat at the front of the show, putting up a front, but got nowhere to go. Guano's hiding in shadows, throwing shade in the chat. They all act tough, but Spawn Trooper's on that. Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he says the situation at hand. With this one, now the people rise, no longer blind. The lies unravel one stream at a time. Truth's not merch, it don't come in packs. And Spawn Troopers got receipts, not just
yeet.
The force is weak with this one. Now the people rise, no longer blind. The lies unravel one stream at a time. Truth's not merch, it don't come in packs. And Spawn Troopers got receipts, not just attacks. He says turn off the feed, walk into the sun. This war for your mind, it's already begun. With clarity, blazing like a saber so bright. He leads the way through the digital night. Spawn Troopers say, I see you playing, keeping up the show, spinning your stories, but the truth starts to flow. Your gators pull high like you're some kind of lord, but all you're doing is striking out with the faulty sword. You're no warrior, just a puppet on strings. Your fake crown don't mean a thing. The game's up now, you're out of move. Spawn Troopers here to expose your Spawn Trooper, he bring truth and facts to the land. Spawn Trooper, he assesses the situation at hand. Then he say the words, truth don't kneel to no one man. Trooper, the force is weak with this one.
Truth will rise in the end, no place for deceit.
May grim unwind, get a whole group on. The force is weak with this whole bunch.